Welcome to today's broadcast of St. Mary's Lumberjack Football on KOFE 1240, your home for Lumberjack sports. Today, your St. Mary's Lumberjacks are at the Kibbe Dome in Moscow, Idaho to take on the North Fremont Huskies in the quarterfinals of the 2016 2A Idaho Milk Bowl football playoffs presented by the United Dairymen of Idaho. Join us as Tim Parrish and Tim Hall bring you the play-by-play action live. We want to take a moment to thank our Lumberjack Sports broadcast sponsors. Without them, these broadcasts wouldn't be possible. Now on to the pregame show with Tim and Tim, and as always, go Lumberjacks!
And welcome, Lumberjack fans. Tim Parrish, Tim Hall here in Moscow, Idaho, getting ready for the 2A quarterfinals of the 2016 Idaho Milk Bowl. The playoffs is what they call it here, brought to you by the United Dairymen of Idaho. We are in the Kibbe Dome, and I guess we don't really have to worry about weather today, do we, Tim?
No weather today. No rain, no mud puddles, no slippery field. This is great.
The weather's going to be absolutely perfect in here today. Might get a little bit warm, but we'll discuss all that as we get through our pregame show here this morning or this afternoon. If you're still going to be headed up here, you've got about 35 or 40 minutes until kickoff, so you probably should have already left if you're coming up to St. Mary's to watch the game. If you're going to be staying in St. Mary's, of course, you can tune in right here on KOFE, and we will have the play-by-play for you right here. So you don't have to miss the action at all. We had a couple of other people join us today, come up with us. We have Dean Johnson, and, of course, Angela. She is a tag-along sometimes with us. So we've got a full press box up here. So we're going to go ahead and jump right into our normal pregame routine. We've got our interview that we have with head coach Craig Test. And we have St. Mary's Lumberjack head coach Craig Test here with us in our pregame interview as we get set to take on the North Fremont Huskies in the quarterfinals of the 2A state playoffs, the Milk Bowl as they like to call it. And we're here in the Kibbe Dome as well, but we're not going to talk about that. I wanted to kind of ask you, go through, give the fans and the crowd an idea of what a week of preparation looks like for the Lumberjacks. I know you kind of changed it up a little bit for playoffs since the games have been on the Saturdays, but kind of take us through how do you start your week and what goes into a week of getting this guys ready to play some football?
Sure. Well, it all starts on the weekend by collecting film of your opponent or even before that. A lot of film study goes in, and then we put our game plan together. We like to have an idea of who kind of establish who they are, what their identity is, and then build a game plan around that to stop it. And then offensively, we try and figure out matchups that we think we can take advantage of. And again, film study is a big part of that. And then we put our plan together. We watch film with the kids on a regular week on a Monday. And then Tuesday, Wednesdays are our real physical, tough days of practice where we push the kids with conditioning and implementing our game plan. So focusing on fundamentals and trying to make sure that we don't lose track there. And then a typical Thursday, which this week was Friday, is our hat day, our pregame day. And again, that's just kind of our last day to make sure that everybody, there's no more questions on assignments or execution, anything like that. We make sure our special teams are all in order, and then we tee it up the next day.
Yeah, and I frequent your practices, and then the kids really do put in a lot of hard work, and they also have a little bit of fun with it. It's good to see that they're able to have a little bit of fun as well at practice, and then you guys obviously every now and then have to get on them to keep them on task. But the kids, they really seem to take to it pretty well.
Yeah, well, there's got to be a balance there, but the whole point of why these kids play football is to have fun, and one thing we try and teach them in our program is there's a time to have fun and there's a time to, put your hard hat on and get to work. And so these kids have been with us long enough now and know what our expectations are, and so that's kind of how we look at it. But, regardless of whether it's football, life, your job, whatever it is, if you enjoy what you're doing, it's a lot better to come to work and smile and enjoy what you're doing, but still get your work done.
Exactly. We're talking with head coach Craig Teff, St. Mary's Lumberjack football. They get set to take on the North Fremont Huskies here in the second round, the quarterfinals of the 2A state playoffs for football. We'll take a 2-minute break, and we'll be back with a few more questions.
Don't miss out on life's unforgettable moments. You have adventures waiting and challenges to tackle. And now, P1FCU can help you anywhere life takes you. If you need to make a loan payment, a simple transfer, or even apply for a loan, P1FCU's video banking has you covered. It's real banking with real people. Download the app or visit p1fcu.org to get started. P1FCU, a Pacific Northwest original since 1938. Insured by NCUA.
Kenny and the crew at 10th Street Superstop invite you into the biggest convenience store in town. 10th Street Superstop is your one-stop shop for gas, propane, snacks, and ice-cold drinks. Stop in for breakfast or lunch, breakfast burritos and pizza to paninis and fajita burritos. 10th Street Superstop has something for everyone. Whether you're headed to a lumberjack game or out into the woods, 10th Street Superstop is the place to stop for anything you may need. 10th Street Superstop on North 10th Street in St. Mary's.
Do you have a hazardous tree on your property? You need some trees or brush removed in preparation for a home or shop? You need to call Andy's Arbor and Site Clearing. Andy's Arbor and Site Clearing specializes in the removal of dangerous trees, pruning, thinning, and chipping. Andy's Arbor and Site Clearing also has a bucket truck for those hard-to-reach areas. So if you're in need of some thinning, tree removal, and site preparation, call Andy's Arbor and Site Clearing. That's at 208-582-2134. That's 208-582-2134. Andy's Arbor and Site Clearing.
And we are back, and as I said, we're getting ready to take on the North Fremont Huskies. They're of the nuclear conference, from what I've seen, and I'm not exactly sure where they're located, but Ashton, Idaho. So what have you seen about them on film?
Oh, a real physical, tough group of kids. Real simplistic in their schemes, both offensive and defensively, but very good at what they do. You know, there's no hiding their identity. You know, when you watch the film, you get a real idea that they want to run the football, and they want to run the football, and they want to run the football some more. And defensively, they're gonna fly around. They do a good job of film of getting guys to the football and gang tackling. So we anticipate a real physical, tough football game today, and really looking forward to it.
So obviously the key for the Lumberjack defense is going to be to continue their dominance in stopping the run game, because we've been pretty dominant in that all season long. What would our keys on offense be?
Well, I think we need to try and stay balanced, kind of try and figure out real early in the game what's going to work for us, whether it's inside run, outside run, or play action pass, or just regular drop back pass. So, you know, we have a plan in place that we think is going to work, and we're going to try it, and if it doesn't, we're able to adjust on the fly.
And I think the other one would be last week against Melba, a few drives we shot ourselves in the foot with some penalties, and I think we've actually, in all of our games this season, we've had more penalties than our opponents have. That's probably another thing that you've got to definitely keep out of the equation, is to calm down the mistakes.
Definitely. You want to limit your penalties. You know, it's funny, depending on how you look at penalties, if they're aggressive type penalties, we would be contradicting ourselves if we didn't tell our kids to be aggressive. But, you know, you're right. We got to be smart. We got to limit the penalties. Those are drive killers, especially on offense. And we put our offense in a lot of tough situations last week with penalties. So that was a point of emphasis this week. Kids are fully aware of it. And so we're going to go out and just see how it goes.
All right. Well, thanks for talking with us today, Coach. And do you have any last words for the fans?
Nope. Just thanks for all your support, and go Jacks.
All right. That was head coach Craig Teff. We'll take another 2-minute break and come back with more of our pregame show.
The St. Mary's Lumberjack Booster Club is asking for your help. The Booster Club continues to provide needed sports equipment for the St. Mary's High School sports programs, but what they have planned next is big. The Booster Club is in the process of building a new sports complex on land next to the high school parking lot. This new sports complex will include a baseball field, softball field, and soccer field. The fields will be built according to professionally engineered plans and will be ADA compliant, so all Lumberjack fans can enjoy the games. The Booster Club thanks the community for their support throughout the years. With your support, Phase 1 will begin this summer. If you're interested in donating to the new sports complex project, contact Donnie Masterson at 208-568-0288 for details. Let's all come together and get this new complex built for the student body and the community.
Archie's IGA is not only a proud supporter of Lumberjack sports, but a proud supporter of the St. Mary's community and shopping locally. When you shop local, you help businesses support other local businesses, as well as helping your local businesses to provide jobs. Did you know that local business taxes help maintain communities and counties by fixing roads and maintaining recreational facilities? Local business owners invest in the community and have a vested interest in the future of our community. So won't you help Archie's IGA by supporting your local businesses and shop locally? Oh yeah, and let's not forget those Lumberjacks.
And welcome back, Lumberjack fans. Tim Parrish, Tim Hall here in Moscow, Idaho, sitting in the Kibbe Dome as we get set for the St. Mary's Lumberjacks to take on the North Fremont Huskies in Round 2 of the 2A state football playoffs quarterfinals, the Idaho Milk Bowl playoffs is what it's called, and it is hosted by the United Dairymen of Idaho. Tim,
Cool.
they are apparently a large sponsor of the Idaho High School Sports Association and everything, so they put on a lot of this stuff and provide a lot of things to the state tournaments and playoffs and all that. So
Well, we need to drink lots of milk then.
yeah. Probably should be, but we've got a bunch of soda pop in front of us today.
Yeah, we do.
Well, let's see, Tim. We've been kind of sitting here watching and looking at North Fremont. We know what St. Mary's is. What have you been able to pay much attention to North Fremont and their warm-ups and stuff?
I haven't really seen a lot of their running schemes, but they've been throwing the ball around, and they've got some kids that can catch the ball. They may pass more than what we think they will. I don't know. But they've got some kids out there that in the warm-ups were really doing a good job. A couple one-handed catches. And the quarterback looks like he's got a decent arm. So
Yeah, the quarterback, do you know what number he is? I think he's 16. I think it's Hawks. I think it's Garrett Hawks. The roster that we have for North Fremont does not have the position.
No, I don't know.
The rosters don't have the positions for North Fremont, so we don't 100% know who all their players are or where they play. So
Yeah, it could be Hawks. I don't know.
we'll kind of
I
figure that out as we go.
saw number 9 die throwing the ball.
So we'll just have to kind of wait and see maybe when they're warming up here who's doing more of the throws again. But North Fremont, they come into this as they were a number two seed in the state tournament, the state playoff game. They defeated. I'm trying to find my my bracket here. They defeated Wendell in the first game of the state playoffs by a score of 77-22. Now, before you listen out there get worried because of that score, Wendell is out of a district or a area that has only 2 teams in their league. Both teams get into the playoffs. Wendell had an 0-8 record on the season, so they were a team that really struggled this year, and they ended up finishing 0-9. So there's no reason to really panic with that score because for most of the games I've looked at for North Fremont, they've been fairly balanced. The scores haven't been big-time blowouts except for when they played Wendell. So that's how we got here tonight. St. Mary's defeated Melba last week 34-6 in the first round. And then let's see here, New Plymouth beat Orfino last week, Bear Lake over Ryrie. Then Westside lost to West Jefferson. First lost to Aberdeen last week. Grangeville beat McCall. And Declo beat Nampa Christian. Now there's 2A games have already been played in the tournament, the playoffs here last night, and on Thursday night. Thursday it was Aberdeen and West Jefferson in a grounded out game that was pretty much a run-dominated game. Aberdeen defeated West Jefferson 15-8. And then last night, Grangeville got defeated by Declo by a score of 39-20. And another run game, apparently. It was pretty much all run on both sides. Talking to a couple of our coaches who watched that game, they said Grangeville basically shot some fumbles, and they were drive-ending fumbles and stuff on that side. But, we played Grangeville, and run-oriented teams, and Grangeville couldn't stop them, apparently. Not very well, anyways. So that's, that's shaping up.
39 points.
That's the way things are shaping up. Next week, we play either, if we win this game today, we play either Bear Lake or New Plymouth. We're obviously rooting for New Plymouth because we will have to travel, and we don't want to have to go down to Pocatello. Boise's far enough. So that is the way this looks like it is shaping out so far.
One of the things that I observed in their warm-ups that may or may not affect this game is their field goal kicker was hitting consistently from 40 yards out, and he hit a couple from 50. He's got a really good leg now. Whether that translates into a game situation field goal of 40 yards with all the pressure and whatnot is anybody's guess, but he does have a good leg.
All righty. Now we are here at the Kibbe Dome, round two of the 2A state football playoffs. St. Mary's taking on North Fremont. We'll be back in 2 minutes with more of the pregame show.
When was the last time you had great Mexican food? I mean, really great. Has it been a while? Well, grab the kids and head to Casa de Oro for dinner tonight. Casa de Oro has fantastic burritos, tacos, and chimmies. Not to mention fajita and shrimp dishes. Little Johnny doesn't like Mexican food? Well, don't worry. Casa de Oro also has an American menu as well. Dinner and lunch a la fresca. Great service and margaritas with a kick. Casa de Oro, it's what's happening for dinner tonight. Casa de Oro on Golf Course Drive in St. Mary's.
Tax time is here again. I know, it's not your favorite. But at H&R Block, tax time is our favorite time of year. It's when our tax pros get to do what they love the most, help people. By getting to know you, they can make sure your return gets done right. It's not just about numbers, boxes, and forms. It's about personal care, so you get every credit and deduction you deserve. And with an average of 10 years experience, our tax pros get your taxes done right. Just one of the many ways Block has your back.
If you're ready for adventure, the 2021 Yamaha Wolverine XTR line is ready for you. XTR stands for Extreme Terrain, and that's exactly where these side-by-side vehicles take you. With standard features like a factory-installed worn winch, aggressive GBC Dirt Commander tires, and special edition paint. Visit St. Mary's Saw & Cycle to find the Yamaha Wolverine XTR that's right for you in either 2-seater or 4-seater. Learn more at YamahaMotorsports.com. Realize your adventure.
Back here in Moscow, you're listening to the Lumberjack pregame show on KOFE 1240 in St. Mary's. We want to thank all of our Lumberjack sports broadcast sponsors, as they will be, if it wasn't for them, we would not be able to broadcast these games for you. So, with that being said, Tim, you want to go ahead and take a look at some of the defensive statistics?
All right, these are the cumulative defensive statistics to date. We have 22 sacks. Our opponents actually have sacked us 8 times. So we wanted to get that in there. We've intercepted the opposition 11 times. We've been intercepted 3 times. That's really good for Kiefer. 3 interceptions in the season is really strong. We have 187 yards and return yards on interceptions. We've given up 52. We've scored 2 touchdowns. We've not given up any touchdowns and interceptions at all. Turnover return yards, 250 for St. Mary's, 22 for opponents. That's really strong. The turnover breakdown is interesting. We have 11 interceptions and 11 fumble recoveries. That's really fascinating for 22. We've been intercepted 3 times. We've fumbled 8, and that's a total of 11. So the difference on the season is 11. So we've doubled the opposition on those statistics. Individual statistics, Nate Masterson has 43 tackles. 13 of those tackles were for loss. So that's really good. He's also had 8 sacks. Zach Rouse has 42.5 tackles. Now, folks may wonder how somebody can get a half tackle. That's if they combine with somebody else to give them a half tackle. He's had 39 assists, which is leads the team in assists. Donovan Rotini has had 13 tackles. Of the 13 tackles, 20 have been for solos. He has 20 assists. He has 6 tackles, and 13 tackles for losses, which I thought was interesting. He leads by a vast majority, other than for Nate Masterson. Those two guys both have 13 tackles for losses on the defense. And then everybody else sort of falls into the same category. And summing this up, interceptions, Jacob Sealer has 4, and Bob Asbury has 3. Patrick Asbury has 2. Jake Sealer's return yards are 90 with 1 touchdown. Bob's are 81 yards for 1 touchdown. It's really close, folks. That's really strong. Defensive fumbles. As a team, we forced 15. We recovered 4. Nate Masterson has forced 4 fumbles and recovered 4. And Dylan Edwards has forced 3 fumbles and recovered 1. Now, this is interesting. Caleb Brown has forced 2 fumbles, but he's recovered 5 fumbles.
Yeah, I should have marked those off because I looked at those stats when I printed them off, and something is wrong with that particular stat line because the forced fumbles and everything. On the other page, it shows that we've recovered 11 fumbles.
Okay.
So these stats are way
Nate Masterson has 20 recovery yards. Caleb Brown has 34 recovery yards. And Caden Hammond has recovered 2 fumbles for 11 recovery yards. So, again, our defense has been the strength of this team. As our defense goes, I think that's how our team's going to go.
Yeah.
We are very, very, very good QA defense.
Now, staying on the defensive side of things, I usually run these into the offensive stats, but these ones, St. Mary's has only allowed 57 points to opposing teams. We only allow 6.3 points per game to opposing teams. Now, that's kind of an interesting number because the Huskies average 34 points per game. So if we can shut them down and keep that same average, then that's showing something again for St. Mary's. As far as yards go, teams have only been able to put up 526 total rushing yards on us all season long. They're only averaging 58 rushing yards per game.
This will be a good test for us then.
Passing yards, we've allowed 816 passing yards through the air. We're only allowed, that's less than 100 yards per game. That's 90.7 yards per game through the air. Total offense, we've only allowed 1,300 yards to our opponents, and that's over 9 games. Opponents have only been able to get 27 big plays on us, and we only average, it says 149.1 yards per game that we allow defensively for the defense. So, again, like Tim said, our defense has been a major part of the team, but we definitely have a really strong defense as well, or offense as well. We'll take a 2-minute break, and we'll come back and take a look at our offensive statistics.
You always hear on the radio, cross the bridge to savings. But it's true. St. Mary's Harvest Foods has what you need when you need it. And if you don't see it, then just ask one of the friendly staff, and they will gladly help you find what you need. From meat, super fresh produce, and dairy, St. Mary's Harvest Foods will save you big on the things you need the most. No time to cook tonight? Then check out the Hot Deli for something quick for dinner. St. Mary's Harvest Foods, where you truly can cross the bridge to savings.
Is your rig's check engine light on? Idling a little rough? Time for an oil change. Maybe you need tires. Stop by Jim's Auto Repair and Tire Pros. Jim's Auto Repair can take care of your automotive needs fast. If you have a dead battery, Jim's Auto Repair and Tire Pros can set you up with a great AC Delco battery. Did we mention tires? Jim's Auto Repair is an authorized Tire Pros dealer and can get you a great deal on tires for your rig. Locations in St. Mary's and Plummer. Jim's Auto and 95 Tires. Give them a call, 208-686-0425, 208-686-0425, or stop by today.
And we are back. Tim Parrish, Tim Hall here at the Kibbe Dome in Mossville, Idaho, getting set for some Lumberjack football 2A state football playoffs. And quick couple of things before we get into the Lumberjacks offensively. A few interesting notes here. 1995 and 96 was the last Lumberjack team that went undefeated in the regular season. Several of those parents, the dads from that team, are actually the dads of several of the players, uncles, and everything to the kids that are playing here today. So that's kind of an interesting thing. That 95-96 team also had like 15 seniors on it, and this Lumberjack team is the same. But sadly, their season ended in the first round of playoffs in 95-96. They didn't win. They didn't make it very far in the playoffs. No Lumberjack team has ever made the semifinals in the football playoffs. And no football team, obviously, with that being said, for St. Mary's has won a state title or been to the state championship game. So tonight, or this afternoon in this game, the Lumberjacks could potentially break a school record by making it to the semifinals of the state playoffs. So that in itself would be a big achievement for our school in that case. And anything after that's gravy, obviously, for the team. But these guys are hungry, and they are not going to be satisfied with just getting into the semifinals. Right. These guys want to make it all the way to that championship game. And in my opinion, they deserve it. But then again, all these teams that are in these playoffs obviously worked hard, and they feel the same way. They deserve it as well. So it's going to be get harder and harder from here on out. If we win today, it's not going to be any easier the next game, and definitely the last game won't be easy at all. Right. So it's taken a lot of work for these kids to get to this point, and their hard work is showing off. Especially here in the offensive statistics. Like Tim said, the defense has been stellar, while the offense has been pretty much just as good. Our team scores 359 points in the whole season. That's offensive and defensive and special teams. We've done it on all three phases. We average 40 points per game against our opponents. We've ran for over 1,500 yards in the full season, including last week's playoff game. We passed for over almost 1,800 yards. We average 169 rushing yards per game, almost 5 yards per carry. Those are really good numbers. Passing, we average almost 200 yards per game, 20 yards per completion. And keeper is thrown for 30 touchdown passes. We've lost 8 fumbles, and we fumbled it 20 times. Our total offensive output is 3,322 yards on the season.
That's really good, Tim.
We average 7.2 yards per play that we run, and that's a very strong number for a team.
It's incredible.
We average 369 yards per game, and we've had 59 big plays all season long. That's 20 yards or more, plays of 20 yards or more.
You know, and this has been done against basically schools that are bigger than we are.
Yeah, Deer Park, all these other 3A schools, Riverside. I mean, it's all teams that are bigger than us. Donovan Rotini actually currently leads the Lumberjacks in rushing with 80 carries and 415 yards. He averages 5 yards to carry, 6 touchdowns on the season. This is where you start to see that depth of our offense. He averages 46 yards per game. Keeper Gibson also has 80 carries for 340 yards. He averages just under 5 yards a carry, 4 touchdowns. He averages around 38 yards a game. Dakota Wilson has 35 carries, 238 yards. He averages almost 7 yards a carry, 26 yards a game. He has 1 touchdown on the rushing side of things. The only other guy that's over 100 yards rushing is Caleb Brown. He has 205 yards on 48 carries. He averages 4.3 yards a carry. And he has 2 touchdowns on the season. He averages 22, almost 23 yards per game. Zach Renfrew also has a few carries. He has 93 yards on 18 carries, still averaging over 5 yards a carry. So that just kind of goes to show that all these guys that are close to 100 yards of rushing on the season, even Dylan Edwards, he averages just under 4 yards per carry. That's just a huge depth there at running back position, right? Going into the receiving side of things, they're fairly even, but Jake Sealer does stand out on that. He has 26 receptions for 537 yards. He averages 60 yards a game. Brady Martin has 12 receptions for 336 yards, 5 touchdowns. He averages right around 40 yards a game. Bub Asbury has 11 receptions for 238 yards and 6 touchdowns, 26 yards a game for him. And Tyler Lohman, just a sophomore on this varsity team, has been a huge part, 14 receptions, 232 yards, and 3 touchdowns for him. He has 25 yards per game receiving. Dylan Edwards averages 16 yards a game receiving, and Nate Masterson 12. And those are the guys that are in the double digits in receiving yardages per game for the Lumberjacks. And again, there's that depth that shows up on our offense. I didn't see where my passing stats were in here for Keeper. I know they are. I'm trying to find those. We're not going to worry about total offense and all that here, Dave. We're getting close to this game. Keeper Gibson, he is 89 of 142 for 1,787 yards, 30 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. He averages just under 200 yards passing per game.
Yeah, I was going to point out that the interception, 3 interceptions, 3 on the season, Tim. Yeah. That is incredible. That's just so outstanding. I don't even know how to put it in exclamation points.
His completion percentage is 62.7%, and his quarterback rating is 137.2. And I know this is only high school ball, but that's higher than most averages for NFL players.
Anywhere between 85 and 105 is considered an absolute stud quarterback in college and pros, and for him to be that high is just unreal. He really is a very good quarterback.
So with that knowledge there to you on the Lumberjack offense, that's what we are, that's what North Fremont's up against here today.
Right.
It's a high-powered Lumberjack team, and where a lot of teams that we face have been run-oriented, we are a well-balanced offense. I mean, our run-pass ratio is still more borderline to the run side of things, but we still throw it quite a bit more than most teams do, and accurately. I mean, we've seen how many times this season we've seen Keeper throw that perfect ball to the end zone. Even some of those kind of back shoulder corner of the end zone ones. I think a couple games ago he threw a beautiful one in the back of the end zone.
Now, Keeper is really talented and gifted with those types of passes. He stays in the pocket real well, but when the pocket breaks down, when there's nobody open, the thing that makes him so dangerous is he is really a great runner as well.
And I actually do want to give that some credit to the offensive line as well in that pocket. That an offense can only really be as good as its offensive line. You can have a great quarterback, but if your offensive line doesn't protect him, it's not going to do you any good. And going back to some of those things that we've seen him do, like you said, in the pocket, we'll watch that pocket start to fold around him, or the guys will get a nice pocket, and he has more time to step up into the pocket. And I think Hayden Humphrey said it against when we played Orofino. He said that Keeper is so unselfish that when he's running the ball, kind of in a scramble mode, he doesn't just tuck it and run it until he knows he has to run it. He'll run all the way up to the edge of the line of scrimmage before he really tucks that ball. He keeps his eyes downfield. He's constantly looking to throw that ball to a receiver. We seen it against Melba last week where he had plenty of room to run when he broke through the pocket up the middle. And instead of going ahead and tucking it and running for 5 or 6 yards, he went ahead and tried to hit Nate Masterson, who I don't think was 100% expecting it. I kind of think he thought he was going to tuck it and run. But Nate dropped it. But, I mean, that just kind of goes to show the unselfishness of Keeper as well.
He is. He's an unselfish quarterback. He's a great role model for everybody on the team, and he's very coachable. That's the one thing about these kids that I need to point out, and I think Coach Teff's technique in coaching and the coaches he surrounded himself with, but the kids are very coachable, and that's a real pleasure, I'm sure, for the coaches.
Yeah. So I'm not exactly sure. It shows 30 seconds up on the board. It's 12:21. They're going to probably start some of the pregame festivities. We've got announcements and obviously national anthem and those types of things. We'll take a 3-minute break, and then we'll come back with more.
Hughes Ace Hardware wants to invite you to come in and take a look. Hughes isn't just about hardware. Whether you need dish soap and sponges to clean up after your husband's guys' night or storage solutions for your wife's shopping addiction, you can find it at Hughes. Come see the difference. Everything you need, from a blow dryer to replace the one your toddler dropped in the toilet to a bathroom scale to help your hubby stay on his fitness goal. Hughes Ace Hardware is the place to get the products you need and the help you want all the time, every time. Jack Buell Trucking knows that there are few things as important as wise use of our natural resources. And by utilizing the chips in the manufacturing of lumber, that is exactly what is accomplished. If you look beyond the wood chips, you see an entire community of schools, churches, and businesses, and most importantly, people. Jack Buell Trucking believes in responsible harvesting of our natural resources. After all, when you take a close look, those aren't just chips, they're an entire community. Jack Buell Trucking.
And we are back as they are getting the starting lineup introduced for the Huskies and Lumberjacks. The Huskies have a lot of freshman starters on their team. And they are now going to be introducing, actually St. Mary's started this at least last game where they don't really introduce our starters, they introduce the whole team. And they all go out on the field as a team as the We Are One symbol. But we'll take a look at the starters for the Huskies. It is number 3, Blake Oberhansley. It didn't say if this was offense or defense. Number 9, Stockton Dye. Number 16, Garrett Hawk. Number 22, Sean Bell. Number 33, Rhett Clark. Number 50, Jordan Hess. Number 53, Brian Hunninger. Number 57, Hayden Hood. Number 69, Jordan Sharp. Number 80, Paul Wynn, and number 88, Sawyer Dye. That is the starters for the Huskies. The linesmen or the officiating crew for today's game is Rich Paulson, Steve Haney, Josh Barron, Jesse Lind, and Chad Deuce. As the Lumberjacks now are heading to center field with the captains to go meet with the North Fremont Huskies, and they get set for the opening coin toss here.
Folks, he's announcing this game and taking pictures with his camera at the same time. He's a multitasker, I guess.
So while they're doing that, we will go ahead and go over the starters for St. Mary's Lumberjacks, and these are the starters that I have that are our typical starters. And as soon as I can find them, I had all this stuff all lined up in front of me. There they are. Okay, so we'll take the Lumberjack offense for the starters here. Starting at wide receiver, it'll be number 7, 5'9", 160-pound senior Jake Sealer. It'll be number 13, 6', 165-pound sophomore Tyler Lohman. Number 23, 6', 180-pound senior Bryant Asbury. Number 80 at tight end, Nate Masterson. Number 24, Dylan Edwards at running back. Quarterback, senior Kiefer Gibson, number 10. Offensive line, protecting Gibson is Anthony McEwen, Jared McGregor, Jake Martin, Parker Telford, and Ryan Farrell. I didn't see who won the toss, but I do know that St. Mary's
won the toss and deferred to receive the ball, and will receive the ball in the second half, so St. Mary's is kicking off.
All right. And St. Mary's will be going, I don't know which way we're sitting in this thing.
I don't either. St. Mary's is going to be going one way, folks, and the Huskies are going to be going the other. That's the way we're going to say it today.
Well, I'll just go from the way I am sitting. St. Mary's will be going from left to right. They'll be defending the left end zone, and the Huskies will be defending the right end zone as we sit in the press boxes in the Tippy Dome. So if you've been there, you know where the press boxes are. You can maybe judge from that. The Lumberjacks are in their green and gold uniforms, green tops, gold pants, and the Huskies have purple pants and white uniform. Ben Linz is the coach for the Huskies, and of course, Craig Teff is the coach for the St. Mary's Lumberjacks. Bud Asbury gets set to kick this thing off here, and he lines up his guys at the about the 40 to 35-yard line. The ball is on the 40. The whistle blows. Bud is on his way, and he's going to go ahead and kick it deep this time. One man back, and it's going to be fumbled off the kick and recovered finally at about the 24-yard line by the Huskies. So they almost fumbled that ball as they...
Oh, they did. They actually fumbled it initially, and then the second player jumped on it.
So that's where the Huskies will start. I believe their quarterback is number 9, Stockton Dye. Lumberjack defense is Caleb Brown, Brian Asbury, Caden Hall, and Zach Rouse at linebacker. Patrick Asbury and Sealer in the defensive back position. One receiver out to the far side It's going to be a handoff up the middle, and he's going to not pick up too many yards. The Lumberjack defense swarms to him. That's number 88. That is the other Dye kid, Sawyer Dye, for a gain of maybe 2. He picks up 3 yards on the carry.
Zach Rouse made the tackle.
Huskies break their huddle, and they come back to the line of scrimmage, 2nd and 7. Receiver down here to the near side now. Everybody else packed in behind the quarterback. It's a pass and a fumble. Ball's loose. St. Mary's picks it up. Brady Martin, and he's going to take it to the house. There was nobody there. The ball was fumbled. Brady Martin was the only Lumberjack there, and he scoops and scores for the Lumberjacks.
That is unreal.
I believe that was Sean Bell on the carry. He picked up maybe a yard or two before he coughs that thing up. And it's a scoop and score for the Lumberjacks as Martin takes it that's 30 yards or so all the way to the end zone, 27 yards. So St. Mary's lines up for the extra point. Asbury will kick. Edwards, the holder, the kick is up and through. It is good. So the Lumberjacks score on the turnover by the Huskies, and that's the way you want to start the game on defense. 7-0, Jacks on top, 11-13 in the first quarter. We'll be back in 30 seconds. We are back as the Lumberjacks get set to kick off, and this time the Lumberjacks do kick the squibber there down the middle, and they are able to recover. The Huskies do at about the 48-yard line, their own 48. So that's where the Huskies will take over, 1st and 10 from the 48. As hardly any time gone off the clock in this one so far. Lumberjack defense comes up the line of scrimmage. The Huskies, everybody fairly in tight. One receiver at the far side, and it's going to be the quarterback's going to pitch it. There's the Lumberjacks did not defend that one really good as the pitch man was wide open. That's number 88. That's Sawyer Dye, and he picked up a big run with a bunch of blocking up in front all the way down to the Lumberjacks 41-yard line, or right about the 41, a gain of 12 yards for Dye. I forgot to change the runner on that one.
Dakota Wilson made the tackle to stop him at the 41.5 probably.
And this is what we're going to expect to see out of them. They'll run it up the middle, then they'll pitch it outside. So they come out with a receiver down here to the near side. They've got under center's shotgun is the quarterback. Dye, he's going to hand it off to number 16, who finds a little bit of a hole. He picks up 5 yards or so. That's Garrett Hawks on the carry.
Zach Rouse on the tackle again.
Pick up a 4 yards for the Huskies. They're down to the Lumberjacks 36-yard line for 2nd and 6. Huskies break their huddle. They come down. They got a receiver down here to the near side. Everybody else bunched up in behind the line. And if the quarterback's going to keep it himself this time, he's met by a host of Lumberjacks. He loses a couple of yards. That's Stockton Dye on the carry.
Nate Masterson was the first one in on the tackle.
And loss of about 1 for Dye. That brings up 3rd and 7 for the Huskies. And now we're going to get a whistle from one of the refs and a timeout taken by the Huskies. We'll take a timeout too. St. Mary's up 7-0 early in this one. You're listening to Lumberjack football on KOFE 1240. We'll be back in 30 seconds.
Why should you get all of your prescriptions from your local Good Neighbor Pharmacy? Because over 100,000 patients per year experience serious complications from drug interactions. At Jack's Pharmacy in St. Mary's, your prescriptions are not only filled, but we double check for such complications. You can trust our knowledgeable pharmacists for that extra personalized attention. You're not just a number to us. You are our neighbor. Bring all your prescriptions to Jack's, your Good Neighbor Pharmacy, where you'll receive personalized service and attention.
are back as the Lumberjacks lead the Huskies early, and the timeout done. The Huskies come out, everybody bunched up tight on the line. Quarterback Dye is under center, takes the snap. He's going to pitch it out to number 16. 16's looking to throw it, and he way overthrows his intended receiver. That was Cox trying to throw it to Oberhandley, incomplete.
Well, there's an interesting wrinkle. They're a run-dominated team, and they threw the ball in.
Yeah, we've seen that play in the film footage, so I don't think the team was too full on that one.
It was well covered.
So they are going to look like they're lining up to go for it on the Lumberjack side of the field. It's 4th and 7 from the Lumberjack 38-yard line. The Huskies are all huddled up. They break the line of scrimmage. They have one receiver going out to the far side. Everybody else is back inside on the line of scrimmage. Under center is Stockton Dye. Man leaves. Nope, they not. Now they're going to finally throw a flag. I'm not sure what's going on. All kinds of confusion. Who are they going to call that on?
I don't know. I don't even know what
they're going to call an illegal procedure against the Huskies. So that'll march it back 5 yards. That'll be 4th and 12. They're probably still going to go for it. They are now back on the 43 of St. Mary's. Nope, they changed their personnel up. It looks like they are lining up for the punt. Steeler's going to not go back deep. Number 16 now he does. And number 16, Oberhandley, Hawks will punt.
They got it for offside.
So they are going to get a pre-snap penalty.
Yeah, Dakota Wilson jumped offside.
So he'll be back where they were. So they'll reset. Let's see if they are going to go for it still. As they move back up to the original line of scrimmage. 4th and 7 now. 38. They line up to go for it now. Everybody's in tight. They got a strong side is here to the near side. It's a pitch out. And the corner is going to be gotten by the running back. That is number 88. He's going to pick up the first down and a few more yards.
Patrick Asbury on the tackle that time.
Down the 22-yard line.
That's what they got on the outside of us, Tim.
And I gave the run to the wrong guy there on that one. I'm not picking the running back properly. I accidentally gave that run to the quarterback. But that was actually Sawyer Dye that got the edge. Good blocking by the Huskies out there.
Yeah, they got around the end on it.
They got one receiver here to the near side. They've got quarterback is under center, 2 running backs in the backfield. Takes the handoff, or the snap, pitches it out again to Dye. And this time he's wrapped up in the backfield by Caleb Brown, actually. So a loss of 3 yards on that tackle by Caleb Brown. And there's quite a size discrepancy between Brown and Dye. Dye is a pretty big kid. I don't have his size on my roster, but Brown is only 150 pounds.
It's a good tackle. He took him down really
open field and everything. One receiver down to the near side, 2nd long. Takes the snap. It's going to be the quarterback, keeps it up the middle. He's going to gain a few. And it's going to be tackled by a couple of Lumberjacks. Looked like one of them was Caden Hall.
It was Caden Hall.
So the quarterback picks up all the way up to the 19 on that carry. So it's 3rd down and about, I think my tablet says 7 yards. I think it's shorter than that. No, 3rd and 7. Okay. So 3rd and 7 from the Lumberjack 19-yard line. Again, all tight in. They've got a couple of receivers out here to the far side, but they're still on the line of scrimmage. It's going to be a quarterback keeper. He's going to pitch it out, and they are going to, this time the Lumberjacks get that one, and he's going to pick up a few yards. That is Hawks, but he's going to run out of bounds. He ran out of bounds after just about a 4 or 5 yard pickup. I'm going to give him 4 yards on the carry. That brings up 4th and about 3, maybe 2 yards for the Huskies. They're all the way down on the Lumberjack 15-yard line. So
well, I'll tell you what, that offside penalty really hurt us.
Lumberjack defense wants to stiffen up here. You definitely want to help deflate an offense a little bit by letting them get this far down, then shutting them down. So they come in all tied up again. Formation is everybody in tight for the offense. The snap is going to be a handoff to Sy, and he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage. Everybody's still battling. And I'm not sure.
I don't think he got it. I don't think he did. I think it's St. Mary's ball.
I think he may have picked up 2 yards, but the Lumberjacks hold strong, and the Huskies turn the ball over on down. So St. Mary's has the ball 1st and 10 from their own 13-yard line.
Zach Rouse was the initial tackler on that play.
They tried to power it up the middle, and St. Mary's stuffed it up.
Now we'll see what St. Mary's does on offense.
So with 7:57 to go in the first quarter, St. Mary's still on top, 7-0 over the Huskies. St. Mary's comes out with 2 receivers wide, 2 receivers far side, 2 near side. Gibson shotgun. He's got a man in motion. That is Dakota Wilson. He's going to take the snap, drop back. He surveys the field. Now he's going to dump it off to Sealer. Sealer makes one man miss, gets the outside, down the sideline, forced out of bounds at the 27-yard line.
Oh, Dean Johnson's up here with his folks, and he's got his thumb up in the air with that run. That was a great run by Sealer.
So it looks like it's a 12-yard pickup, 14-yard pickup, and a first down for the Lumberjacks on that connection from Gibson to Sealer. So Lumberjacks now got the ball up to the 27-yard line. They come out with 1 receiver wide. That's Asbury to the far side and Lohman to the near side. 2 running backs in the backfield with Gibson. Gibson takes a snap. He hands it off to Rotini. Rotini is going to be stood up for a loss of a yard or 2. He got tripped up in the backfield. That'll be 2nd and 11 for the Lumberjacks. That's a big boy, number 65 down there for the Huskies.
Yeah, he is big.
That is Gavin Baum. I think he's one of those freshman guys on that team. Yeah. He's big. 2 receivers near side, bunch formation. No, not a bunch formation, just 2 receivers near side. Gibson in the shotgun, takes the snap, hands it off. It's a reverse to Masterson. Masterson gets the block. He's down the sideline, and he's finally out of bounds at the 43-yard line.
It's a great run, great fake play and for a first down.
17-yard pickup and a Lumberjack first down. Now that little trickery there by the Lumberjack. A bit of a reverse.
Off, misdirection, and they just fell right into it. It was a great block, too.
Yeah, Sealer could have had a good block out here on the edge.
Yes, he did.
So the Lumberjacks come out of their huddle, moving the ball. 1 to the near side, 1 to the far side. 2 running backs in the backfield with Gibson. Rotini and Renfrew, it looks like. This time it's a handoff to Rotini, and there's a bit of a hole for a little bit. Rotini powers forward for about 4 yards on the carry.
Rotini lost his helmet.
That makes it only about a 2-yard pickup. I'll give him 3. 2nd and 7. Rotini has to come off of the field, so he lost his helmet. And there's a gain of 3. So 2nd and 7. Caleb Brown comes in for the Lumberjacks. He'll be in the backfield. Lohman and Asbury go to the far side for wide receivers. Now Lohman comes back to the other side. 2 receivers in the backfield, or running backs in the backfield with Gibson. Renfrew and Brown. Now we're going to get a timeout taken by St. Mary's. So with 6:21 to go, a little bit of confusion. Lumberjacks burn a timeout. St. Mary's up 7-0 in the first quarter. We'll be back in 30 seconds. Back, St. Mary's breaks the huddle after the timeout. They come to the line of scrimmage. They've got, looks like they're going spread here. They've got 2 receivers to the far side, 2 down here to the near side. And it's going to be Gibson. Looks like he's in the pistol with Dakota Wilson lined up behind him. Lohman and Masterson are 2 of the receivers. Asbury and Sealer on the other side. Gibson takes the snap. He's going to fake the run. Now he's going to take off. He finds a little bit of running room. He's going to pick up only a couple on that carry. That looked like it was a bit of an option play there where he had the opportunity to throw it if he wanted to, and he decided not to. We've got an injured player, though, for the North Fremont Huskies. And and I think it was a couple yards gain, so that puts us at 3rd and 5. It is number 78 that's slow to get up. I don't have a 78 on my roster for the Huskies. And he is up and making his way off the field. There's not a 78. Oh, I know who that is, actually. That's the kid that has 2 numbers. That is Brett Clark. He's also number 78, his alternate jersey number. So it's 3rd down and about 5 for St. Mary's from the 48-yard line, still on their own side of the field. Everybody in tight here in this play. It's going to be the handoff to, I think that's Dakota Wilson. Wilson is going to pick up a few, but it's going to be a little short of the first down. It's going to be 4th and about 1 to go, actually. 4th and short on the Husky 48-yard line. St. Mary's lines up to go for it in their tight wedge formation. Rotini and Renfrew in the backfield. Gibson under center. Gibson takes the snap, hands it off to Rotini. Rotini has room to run, and he's going to get all the way to the 40 for a Lumberjack first down.
That was a great play. That was just a power play off tackle, and he made it down to the 40-yard line. It was no doubt about it at all. Great blocking up front by the offensive line.
10-yard carry by Dakota Wilson. Or by Donovan Rotini. So 1st and 10 from the Husky 40-yard line. Gibson again back in the shotgun. 4 receivers, too far, too near. Gibson at that same play, the pitch. Caleb Brown can't handle the pitch, though. He gets it picked up. He gets some blocking. He's back down the opposite sideline, and at least he gets back to almost the original line of scrimmage. Wow, that was almost a disaster. And it turns up as just a loss of 1.
Yeah, that could have been really bad. That was a great reverse and coming to the bottom side of the field and actually almost, like Kim said, getting back to the line of scrimmage. He's 2nd down and 11 now.
Another player was slow to get up for North Fremont. St. Mary's 2 far side, 1 near side. Gibson shotgun flanked by Wilson. Takes the snap, fakes the handoff, drops back. He's looking. He's throwing it down the middle to Brady Martin, and it's fairly well defended and a little bit overthrown, incomplete.
I think Brady quit running, Tim.
Yeah, I think if he would have kept running, he probably would have ran under it.
I think so.
So that'll bring up 3rd and 11 for the Lumberjacks. At this point, if they get to 4th down, I would almost think St. Mary's might punt it just for field position there. 1 near side, 1 far side. Man in motion. Gibson takes the snap, hands it off to Rotini. Rotini's going to get stood up at the line of scrimmage. He picks up about a yard or 2, and that's it. As there were some bodies from North Fremont clogging up his running lane. He didn't try to hurdle him. He just kind of ran into him and tripped over. So that's 4th and 10 for the Lumberjacks. Glover Buell comes out, so we'll see their showing punt.
Now, you said earlier today that there is a fake punt we have.
Yeah, we've seen it against Orofino and complete cut both of us off guard, but I don't know if at 4th and 10 we'll do that. 4th and shorter, maybe. Waiting for the snap. And they are going to do the fake. Asbury has it. He's going to be tracked down, though, as North Fremont didn't fall for it.
Yeah, that was the old fakeroo punt, and it didn't work.
Asbury picked up a few yards, down to almost the 45, but not quite enough, or down to the 35, I should say. Yeah, I'm surprised they went for that on 4th and 10. I would think 4th and 5, 4th and 4, maybe. I would have thought we were going to try to punt them back deep, but we've got Dan Howard coming into the game for the Lumberjacks. Rotini is coming off again as he is holding his elbow. I think maybe he has some blood or something that make him come off the field. So Dan Howard goes in for Rotini on the defensive line. North Fremont has 1 receiver far side, and a snap. The quarterback's going to try to keep it, and he's going to be met in the backfield by Nate Masterson and lose about 3 yards. I I think he should have pitched it.
Yeah. It was a great tackle.
Masterson was the first one there, and then another Lumberjack came in and helped clean it up a little bit. So it's 2nd and 12 for the Huskies. 3 minutes to go in the first quarter. St. Mary's still on top, 7-0 here in the 2A quarterfinals of the state playoffs. Everybody in tight again for the Huskies. They're going to pitch it out to the first man in the backfield. He's going to try to find some room to run, but he can't. Donovan Rotini's going to wrap him up and tackle him for another loss on the play. I believe that was Garrett Hawks on the carry. He loses about 4 or 5 on his carry, so that's all the way 3rd and 17 for the Huskies. Another great defensive play there for St. Mary's.
I tell you what, St. Mary's defense is really playing well right now.
Well, you know, early in some games we've played, St. Mary's has been susceptible to letting a player here get past them, but after that, they more or less adjust. Yeah. So we'll have to see what happens here. They come out with a receiver here to the near side for the Huskies. Under center is the quarterback. Handoff into the backfield. The ball's on the ground. Diving for it is the Lumberjacks. It's still loose, and I think St. Mary's falls on it. Finally, they do. That is number 33 for St. Mary's. That's Rouse getting the fumble recovery. I don't know who was the carrier. I'm just going to give it to a guy for the Huskies, and I know who made the recovery. Zach Rouse. So St. Mary's has the ball back deep on the opposite side of the field. They're all the way down to the 25-yard line. Lumberjacks two near side, 1 far side. It's going to be a handoff to Dakota Wilson. He follows his blocker nicely and takes it all the way down to the 15-yard line. Nice carry by Dakota Wilson. Pickup of 10 and a first down, I do believe, for St. Mary's. That's going to be just short of the first down.
It'll be 2nd and 1.
So not quite a first down for Dakota. Lumberjacks come out with 2 receivers, Asbury and Lohman, 1 on each side. Gibson in the pistol. He has Zach Renfrew lined up behind him. Man in motion. Hands it off to Renfrew. Renfrew immediately has a Husky on his back, but he carries him for 3 yards and a first down. So it's 1st and 10 for the Jacks from the 13-yard line of North Fremont. St. Mary's threatening here with under a minute almost to go in the first quarter. 1 to the left, 1 to the right for the Lumberjacks. That receiver, Gibson, in the pistol. Gibson takes the snap. He's going to fake the handoff. Now he's rushed. He gets outside the pocket. He's directing traffic. And he tried to direct Edwards back towards him, and Edwards cuts upfield. Little miscommunication there on the directions from keeper. Incomplete pass. Great job by Gibson, though, to be able to escape those 2 defenders that were coming in from each side. They had some edge pressure coming in.
They sure did.
That'll bring up 2nd and 10. I think he wanted Edwards to come back towards him a little bit. Right. Step down right on the sideline. He would have hit him.
He threw the ball way behind him, and Edwards cut up the field on him.
Everybody in tight for St. Mary's on this one. Rotini and Renfrew backfield. It's a handoff to Rotini. He's going to cut it outside. He's down the sideline. Dives. Touchdown, Lumberjack. Great move by Rotini to break it to the outside. Takes it for 15 yards into the touchdown. 12 yards, actually.
That was a really good power run to the outside, Tim, because they had it stopped up the middle. Yeah. And he just broke to the outside, and then he pulled his way into the end zone.
Lumberjack swinging gate here on their 2-point conversion attempt. Yeah, that was supposed to go, I think, closer in on the end of the tackle, and it didn't. Gibson fakes it. Now he's going to have to be rushed. He's going to look. He's going to try to get around one guy. He gets around 2 guys, and Gibson dives in for the touchdown. Oh, man.
So that's for the
extra point, the 2-point conversion. And Gibson had to lose 3 guys there, and he made all of them miss tackle.
Great broken field running by Kiefer Gibson.
So with 45 seconds to go in the first quarter, St. Mary's is up 15-0 over the North Fremont Huskies. You're listening to Lumberjack Football on KOFE 1240 live from the Kibby Dome. We'll be back in 30 seconds.
Hey, you're listening to a rebroadcast of the 2016 quarterfinal state playoffs for Lumberjack football right here on KOFE 1240. Next week, we will be re-airing the Lumberjacks semifinals game where they took on the Bear Lake Bears. Back to the game here on KOFE.
Are back. St. Mary's leads right now over the North Fremont Huskies, 15-0, 45 seconds to go in the first quarter. St. Mary's lines up to kick off. Of course, Bub Asbury will take care of that. They're on the way, and it's going to be that squibby down the middle kick. It gets over the top of the up man. That's number 88. That's Dye. He picks it up at about the 12, and he's going to get through a couple of guys. He finally gets up to the 21-yard line, tackled by Caden Hall. So a decent return for him, at least. He could have been, probably should have been tackled quite a bit further back. And it's actually the 27-yard line. I think I said 20.
No, it's the
2-yard
line. 22-yard line, Tim.
Oh, it is the 22-yard line.
Yeah, you're right.
Was right the first time.
Your eyes are crossed.
Yeah, I guess so. So the Huskies break the huddle. They come out with a receiver down here to the near side. That is Wins. Everybody else in tight. Quarterback under center. That's Stockton Dye. Dye takes the snap, hands off, first man through, and he's met right in the hole by Donovan Rotini and driven down for a short gain, if any. Second and 10 for the Huskies. A little bit of a change of personnel there for getting the play in.
They're not going to get the play off before the quarter ends, I don't think.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of time left. And that's it. So the end of the first quarter, St. Mary's on top, 15-0 here in the 2A quarterfinal state football playoff. It is the Idaho Milk Bowl by the United Dairymen of Idaho. We'll be back in 1 minute.
Everyone knows that the timber industry is a huge part of our community. Working in the timber industry requires big equipment. Big equipment requires a special mechanic or custom machined items to repair. Jake's Machine and Repair in St. Mary's is your very own full-service, large equipment diesel mechanic that not only has a full-size shop, but also has a service truck that can come straight to you when you break down in the woods. If you're in need of big truck or big equipment repair, stop by Jake's Machine and Repair at 106 Homer Drive in St. Mary's or call 208-596-8819. 208-596-8819. Jake's Machine and Repair in St. Mary's.
And we are back here. Start of the second quarter. St. Mary's leads the North Fremont Huskies 15-0 early in this one. And the Fremont Huskies are second and 11 from deep on their own side of the field. They are at the 22-yard line. Their own 22-yard line. Got a good Lumberjack crowd down here today. The Huskies have to come from a little bit further away, so their crowd section isn't quite as packed as ours. They got a bit more of a travel.
We've got a really good group, though, from St. Mary's.
Fremont Huskies up in tight formation on the offensive side. Handoff not to the first man. The fumble to the guy that they pitched it to. He is able to get the lucky bounce right back into his hand, but he's only able to pick up a couple of yards. That is Sawyer Dye on the carry.
Bub Asbury on the initial tackle.
As that was a fumble, but I'm not going to mark it as a fumble. It bounced right back up into his hand. There's just too much fanfare when they recover it to mark it as a fumble with the different things I got to put in. So it's third and 8 for the Huskies. They're back down on their own side of the field. Everybody in tight. One receiver to the far side. Under center's Dye. Looks like he's taking a little more time on the snap this time. He's going to throw it over the middle and Masterson almost got the quarterback. Quarterback barely gets it away, and they get it into the center of the field. That's completed to Hawks, and it's going to be a big gain in the first down. So I have to give them credit on that design of that play. They make it all the way to the 47 of St. Mary's. Gain of 30 yards on the throw and catch.
Dylan Edwards was the tackler on that play. He actually saved a touchdown.
But that quarterback would have had to take any extra time. He was
dead meat.
He was very well poised because he's seen Masterson coming.
Right, he did. He saw him.
Again, they're all in tight. One receiver split out a little ways on the far side of the field for the Huskies. It's going to be a pitch. There's nobody there. Miscommunication on the play. St. Mary's recovered. Dakota Wilson jumps on it. Wow. So Stockton Dye did not have his pitch man behind him. The ball is fumbled all the way back to the 40, it looks like. Where are they going to place the ball? Actually, I think it's going to be at the 45-yard line as Dakota Wilson is able to jump on it.
That's the third fumble recovery in the first half by St. Mary's.
So hopefully it'll lead to some scores, the points. Let's see. St. Mary's has got their shotgun. It's handed off to Caleb Brown. He's going to pick up a few.
Picked up about 3 yards, maybe 2 yards.
That was so. Let's see here. I got to get everything recalculated as a couple of yard pickup for Brown. St. Mary's breaks the huddle with 2nd and 8. Waiting for the snap. Gibson shotgun. One receiver far side, one near side. Man in motion. Snap. Hand off to Wilson. Wilson is met in the hole. No gain. Actually about a yard loss on the carry. As there was a guy there to fill the hole.
That was really well defended, Tim. That defensive player was right there. And they actually had a good scheme, but he wasn't faked out at all. So here we go. There's a snap.
Gibson drops back. He's looking to throw. He's going to throw it to the flat. And again, that was that little kind of a screenplay out to Dakota Wilson. He makes the catch, but he's not going to pick up many yards on that one either.
Not going to pick up anything. Maybe a foot.
It'll be 4th down and about 8 or 9 for St. Mary's. St. Mary's showing to go for it, which is surprising. They've got 2 receivers far side, one to the near side. Gibson shotgun. Gibson takes the snap. He's rolling to the far side of the field. He's looking downfield. He's going to go deep. Sealer can't get up and get it. I really think that he should have thrown that to Asbury.
Yeah,
there's a bunch of flags on the play, but Asbury was wide open, and he was wide open for the first down. We have 2 penalty markers on the field.
It's against St. Mary's. They've declined it. So it's going to be 1st and 10. The Huskies with 8:40 to go in the first half, the second quarter.
At St. Mary's leading still 15-0, but man, that was a missed opportunity. His keeper wanted to go for the long ball. If he would have kept that ball down a little bit, Sealer would have been able to catch it. But it was just a little bit high. But Bub Asbury was completely uncovered beyond the 6 for the first down. So the ball is on the 42 of the Husky side of the field. Huskies come out all tight. They got 1 receiver. And it's going to be a handoff to not the first man through. It's a pitch out to number 16. That's Hawks, and he's going to be met and brought down for a short gain. I'll give him a yard on that one. You don't think he got quite even a full yard, but 2nd and 9 for the Huskies.
That was Green on that tackle. That was a good tackle. He upended him right in the air.
Dan Howard's getting quite a bit of playing time here tonight on this defensive line for St. Mary's. I don't think he's played much in most of the other games coming up from JV, but they feel confident in him, so they're putting him in there. He's doing a good job, I believe. Again, they've got a receiver here split out shortly, to, not too far to the near side, but now we get a timeout taken by North Fremont. So with 7:58 to go in the half, it is St. Mary's 15, the Huskies 0. We'll be back in 30 seconds.
We're not really hitting on all cylinders tonight on offense. Our offense looks a little disjointed at times.
Well, they've got a pretty good defense.
Yeah, they do.
But I have to agree with you somewhat on that, though, because like I said, that pass to Sealer, if he would have pulled it down just a little bit, it would have been completed.
I mean, Bub was wide open.
So it'll be second and long for the Huskies. They are on their own 43-yard line. You're listening to Lumberjack football right here on KOFE 1240, and we are actually at the Kibby Dome. The snap, and the quarterback keeps it that time, and that one kind of fooled the Lumberjacks a little bit. They didn't come in hard off the line as normal, and he just kind of fell forward. There was nobody there to try to stop him. Good 4-yard pickup for Dye. Quarterback.
It was Dakota Wilson and Zach Rouse on the tackle that time.
So it's 3rd and 5. This time they're going to roll out, and the quarterback's going to try to cut upfield, and he's not going to get anywhere as Nate Mastern is there to make the tackle. He does pick up maybe a yard.
Yeah, he picked up about a yard and a half.
But it's 4th down and 4, roughly. Maybe 4th and shorter than that, actually.
It's actually 4th and 2.
So 4th and 2 for the Huskies, and it looks like they're going to go for it right at the 50-yard line. Nobody's wanting to punt it here today, it looks like.
Yeah.
They have one receiver. They split out a little ways out to the far side, not quite all the way out. He's in close to the line. Everybody else bunched in tight. Handoff to nobody. The quarterback got tripped up, and he's going to lose a yard, and it's going to be a turnover on down. St. Mary's will take over at the 47-yard line, 49-yard line of the Huskies. So good field position for St. Mary's after the turnover on down.
I don't know what happened. I actually thought the back had the ball, and then all of a sudden the quarterback was getting it off the ground.
I did too for a second.
I thought maybe the back might have got the first down, but I guess something happened between the quarterback and the back.
So St. Mary's takes over. They've got a receiver near side, receiver far side, Gibson shotgun, Rotini lined up behind him. Man in motion. It's the double wing for the Lumberjacks. They fake the handoff to Rotini. Gibson keeps it himself. He gets to the outside. Stiff arms one guy, still on his feet. Tries to cut back in, but is going to be forced out of bounds at the 32 of the Huskies. A great run by Gibson.
That's where Kiefer is so dangerous and so good on those extemporaneous type of runs. I tell you what, he's just a master at that really right now at this level of play.
17-yard pickup by Gibson. 1st and 10 from the 37-yard line. Well, it wasn't quite a 17-yard pickup. Kind of a rough snap there. It's a reverse to Masterson. He cuts upfield. He's going to be finally brought down after picking up 10 yards. If he could have slipped that one tackle, he would have been to the house.
Well, the kid that tackled him actually tackled the ball, and you had to hang on to the ball to go to the ground.
It reminded me of a tackle I seen Masterson make against Melba, where all he did was get a hold of the running back's jersey, and his grip was so good the guy couldn't get away from it.
Right.
1st and 10 for St. Mary's from the Husky 26. 2 receivers near the far side, man in motion, and they're going to hand it off to Rotini. That was kind of a weird setup of how that worked. It looked like Gibson may wanted to pull it out. Rotini clamped down on it. Luckily, the ball didn't come out in a fumble. Rotini powers forward, picks up about 6 yards.
Yeah.
It looked like Gibson was fighting for the ball as much as Rotini was fighting for keeping it. Lumberjacks down to about the 15-yard line. Second and 4. Hand off again to Rotini, runs into a blocker, spins off of him, and does get down for the first down, but a bunch of flags come in. One of them is in the area of probably a hold.
Yep, it's going to be holding.
That's only the second penalty, I think, for St. Mary's.
It is the second penalty. No turnovers and 2 penalties.
But that's a bad hold. That's a bad penalty. So it should be second and 14 now for the Lumberjacks. That hold came well after the play was already way beyond that area, too. That's the bad thing on that one. 2 to the near side, 1 far side. It's a quick tunnel play for Sealer. He's going to get up the middle, or up the sideline on the completion from Gibson, and Sealer is shaken up. That's not a good one to have shaken up. Down at the 12. He looks like he's going to be okay as he gets up and comes off.
Limping.
Gain of 11 yards from the connection from Gibson to Sealer. So Sealer is, that ground's a little bit harder than the normal ground that you play on, so he could have smacked it. It looks like he's favoring his ankle.
Yeah.
So 3rd and about 4 yards for St. Mary's. On the 15-yard line, it looks like. Takes a snap. Gibson's going to hand it off to Rotini. Rotini's going to bounce around and power forward. Carry several with him. Not quite getting enough for the first down, but he's quite a bit closer than they were. Pickup of about 2 yards. Hess on the tackle for the Huskies. So 4th and 2. See if St. Mary's is going to keep the offense on there, or they talked about in practice maybe trying to get a field goal for Asbury early on too, but they're going to go for it. 4th and 2. Gibson in the shotgun. He lines up, looks like Brown behind him. 1 receiver near side. And now we're going to have a timeout taken by St. Mary's with 4:24 to go in the half. St. Mary's still leads 15-0 over the Huskies. We'll be back in 30 seconds.
Have you ever noticed that some companies are around for decades and you really don't notice them until you actually see them? Kenneth Bechtel Trucking is one of these. Kenneth Bechtel Trucking has been a fixture in St. Mary's for decades and still is a community-involved business. Take the time to thank these entrepreneurs that quietly make it on their own and make our community all the better for it. Kenneth Bechtel Trucking. Give them a call today at 245-7209. Kenneth Bechtel Trucking, a community staple and lumberjack supporter. Good luck, Jacks.
Need some rewiring done? Call the professionals at M&S Electric. With nearly 40 years experience, there's no job too big or too small. From industrial and commercial to residential and service work, M&S Electric isn't Mary's. Give them a call, 208-245-3890. No job too big, no job too small. We do them all. M&S Electric.
And we are back, and we are at the Kibbie Dome in Moscow, Idaho. 4th and short for the Lumberjacks here. Deep down in Husky territory. St. Mary's on top, 15-0. 2A, round 2 of the 2A state playoffs, the Idaho Milk Bowl. And Steelers still walking it off down there. Kyle Roush is out for him on the as wide receiver to the far side. Bub Asbury near side. He looks like he's walking okay, though. So hopefully he'll be okay. Gibson shotgun. And Asbury switches. That's going to be a 5-yard penalty. That makes this a little bit more of a difficult, makes it a bit more difficult 4th down. 4th and 7 now.
That's the 3rd penalty.
So now it's back to the 16-yard line or so. And the snap.
Oh, he's wide open. Oh, he was wide. There he is.
And the snap and the throw, and that is Brady Martin.
Yeah, he had 2 guys wide open. He had Bub down here wide open, too.
So that play, I wasn't quite paying attention, But 4th and 7 from the 16, and it's complete to Brady Martin for the Lumberjack touchdown. So that extends the lead 21-0 over the Huskies. Yeah, there was lots of guys wide open when I looked up.
Yeah, there was 2 or 3 guys open.
Yeah. So Asbury's going to line up for the extra point this time. Again, Dylan Edwards, the holder. The snap, a little high, gets it down. The kick is low and just wide to the left side. So no good. That one was a little bit of a rushed one there. The dynamics were off on that.
So the line drive kick.
So with 4:16 to go in the second quarter, St. Mary's is on top, 21-0 over the North Fremont Huskies. We'll be back in 1 minute.
Afraid to touch that breaker box? Need some rewiring done? Call the professionals at M&S Electric. With nearly 40 years experience, there's no job too big or too small. From industrial and commercial to residential and service work, M&S Electric isn't afraid. Serving Benoit, Shoshone, Kootenai, and Latah counties, M&S Electric has you covered. Overhead work, M&S can do that too with their bucket truck. M&S Electric, 408 Main Avenue, St. Mary's. Give them a call, 208-245-3890. No job too big, no job too small. We do them all. M&S Electric.
And we're back. And we are back this time. The Lumberjacks do the little onside kickoff, and they goes only to about the 52-yard line. The Huskies recover it.
The 48-yard line.
48 yard. Yeah, I did that again, didn't I? Yeah. The 48-yard line. Snap, and it's going to be a handoff, and it's a little bit of room up the middle for number 16, Hawks, and that's only the second or third big play, big run that they've had. It's a 7-yard pickup.
Caden Hall made the tackle on that, kind of an arm slow down, throw down tackle.
Huskies break the huddle. They come up to the line of scrimmage. Receiver down here to the near side. Under center is Dye, the quarterback. He's going to take the snap and going to hand it off again to number 16, Hawks. And Hawks is going to plow forward and pick up enough for the first down.
Donovan Rotini made the tackle on that play.
I'm going to say a 3-yard carry just to make sure I get the first down there. It's just barely enough for the first down. 1st and 10 from the 41-yard line of St. Mary's. So the one receiver wide, or one near side, one far side. And it's a handoff up the middle. Try to do a little bit of misdirection there. And it's going to be a couple of yard gain for the running back. Trying to see who had the ball for the Huskies. It was number 88. That was the other Sawyer Dye.
And Donovan Rotini made the tackle that time again.
4-yard pickup. 2nd and 6 for the Huskies. They come out all tight except for one receiver. Split down here to the near side. Snap. He's going to look to throw. It's going over the top. It's up in the air. And he was forced out of bounds, but they're going to say complete as Roush was on the coverage. Good coverage, good throw.
It was a good throw, and the young man jumped up on the side, kept one foot in bounds, and caught the ball.
Down to the 23-yard line. So it's 1st and 10 for the Huskies. And Sealer's still not back out on the field yet, I don't think, for the Lumberjacks in coverage. Again, everybody in tight, one receiver. This time it's that pitch. It's a bit of a reverse. St. Mary's is ready for it, though, and they make the tackle. And a late flag comes in. That may be a hold. Caleb Brown made the tackle, number 3 on the carry over Hansley. He lost a couple of yards. There was a penalty, but I don't see how it could be against anybody except for...
it's holding against the Huskies. And they're taking the penalty.
We'll wait and see. They haven't.
No, they're not. Yeah, they do. They give them the down back, but
looks like St. Mary's is going to decline. No, they are going to take it. They are going to take the penalty. So the Lumberjacks will take the penalty. So it'll be 1st and 20 back to the 36-yard line. First and 24, actually.
Okay, they're going to do a hurry-up offense now, Tim.
So the Huskies rush to the line of scrimmage. One receiver near side. The snap and the pitch out to number 88. That's Dye, but he's going nowhere as he's tackled for a loss. Back to the 39-yard line, a loss of 3 for the Huskies. That'll bring up 2nd and 27 from the 39-yard line.
That was Caleb Brown for that lost tackle again. Caleb's really starting to pick up his game defensively. That's 3 tackles and 3 for loss for Caleb Brown.
Steelers back out on the field. Good to see. One receiver far side, one near side for the Huskies. Everybody else in tight. Under center, Stockton Dye takes the snap. It's a quick throw and miscommunication. He thought his receiver was going deep. The receiver was over Handley. He was actually cut on a slant, and that's just a incomplete pass. So 3rd and 27. Must be, well, just a miscommunication. He didn't know what route he was supposed to run, or the quarterback didn't know what route he was running, but I would have to believe that it was probably the receiver that didn't remember what his route was. So 3rd and long. Minute 45 to go before halftime. St. Mary's on top, 21-0 over the Huskies. They've got 3 receivers this time, the first time we've seen that set, and they're going to take a timeout. So
it's an interesting series for the Huskies. They're starting to throw the ball more rather than run it now. This is interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, I think they're feeling that they aren't being completely successful on the ground. So
we're at 21-0, and we're almost through the first half. They could get desperate, and that could play into our hands.
North Fremont does have 100 yards of offense, though, in the first half. So they are gaining a few more yards than most of our opponents against us.
Well, they've had a couple of pretty good pass plays, actually.
Yeah.
That kind of surprised me a little bit for a team that's run dominant.
Yeah, it's the only thing we don't want to get caught off guard, though. If they do start throwing it, we got to be able to play sound on the backside of that, too.
Right.
So they come back out with 2 receivers to the far side. One down here split out just a little bit off the line, off the end of the line. And Dye is under center once again. He's got a running back lined up behind him. That's Hess. It's 3rd and long. Takes the snap. He's going to try a quick little throw out into the flat. They're going to throw it back. Uh-oh. Asbury gets caught off guard, and the ball is dropped. He was wide open. Was Sawyer Dye, and I think that was Hawks that threw that.
He was wide open. I mean, if he catches that ball, it's
and touchdown. Bub bit up big time on the fake. And Asbury got caught big time out of.
Yeah, we were faked right out on that play. That was a well-run play. Too bad the receiver didn't catch the ball for the Huskies.
That brings up 4th down, and they're lining up in a punt formation this time. So don't fall for a fake here, though.
And don't jump off sides.
The snap. The kick is off. Nice kick over to the corner, and it goes out of bounds. Is that going to be called a touchback? No, down at the 1-yard line. The officials
actually had
they're giving him a bad spot on that. Yeah,
6-yard line.
That looked like that went out. Yeah, it did after that, but so St. Mary's catches a bit of a break on that one.
Yeah, we did.
So 1st and 10 from the 6 with a minute and a half to go in the first half. St. Mary's may be content with just trying to get a first down and run the clock out. Or we could try for a deep strike.
I'm all for deep strikes.
Oh, me too. St. Mary's comes out with 5 wide receivers, empty backfield, 3 receivers one side, 2 to the near side. Gibson takes a snap. It's a quick little throw to Sealer. Sealer has some room to run down the sideline. He's going to step out of bounds after a 12-yard pickup.
Wow, did he ever make a great catch? And I'll tell you what, that ball was ready to shoe tops. He picked that ball right up the ground and ran, but that was a great catch.
Yeah, he almost touched the ground.
Wow, that was Jake Sealer is such a gifted ball player.
They say that's only to the 19-yard line. First down for the Lumberjacks. This time they come out with one receiver far side, two down to the near side. Asbury was going way off the ball. Gibson pistol formation, takes the snap. He's going to look. He's going to roll out to the near side. He's going to throw it over the top. He's going to try to get it into Sealer's hands, and it's just a little bit overthrown. If Sealer could have gotten turned around and planted, he probably would have been able to catch that, but he was a little bit turned around himself. So 2nd and 10 from the 19 with 1:17 to go before halftime.
It appears that our receivers are getting open early, and Kiefer is just kind of delaying a little bit and then closing up a little bit on us.
St. Mary's spread again, 3 receivers top, 2 to the near side. Gibson, they're going to try that same play. And Sealer makes the catch. He makes a couple of guys miss, runs into his own blocker, trying to get some blocking. Now he loses the ball, and that's not going to be good. That's going to be a touchdown for the Huskies.
That does not help.
Sealer trying to do too much, fumbles the ball, and it was recovered by number 69. For the Huskies, that's Jordan Sharp, and he dove into the end zone for the touchdown. So the Huskies will line up after their first points come off of a Lumberjack turnover. And that's just not quite protecting the ball, and Sealer really trying to do too much.
Yeah, he just really loved up that play.
Looks like number 16 to kick it. The snap, the ball is down, the kick is good. So that puts the Huskies on the board after the Lumberjack turnover. It's St. Mary's 21, the Huskies 7 here in the 2A state playoffs, and that's just an unfortunate series of events there for Jake Sealer and the Lumberjack offense.
Well, he just absolutely coughed that ball up, and it went bouncing about 12 yards away from him.
Well, I'm really kind of surprised they went right back to that same play, only 2 plays later as well. The guy that actually got that fumble recovery, well, he's walking okay now, but he was a little bit shaken up, it looked like. But, I mean, that was only 2 plays later, and you go back to that same play. Kind of surprised me just a little bit. But he did have a few yards gained until he tried to cut back across field and tried to make something big happen. He probably should have just lowered his shoulder and ran it out of bounds with a 2 or 3 yard pickup.
Well, nobody feels worse about it than Jake does, that's for sure.
So the North Fremont Huskies will line up to kick off. You never know with a game like this if a team might try to trick you right away with their own onside kick, so you got to be prepared for that. Sealer and Brown back deep for St. Mary's. If this goes to Sealer and he can make a return, let's watch him try to make up for his mistake. I believe it's Hawks to kick off for the Huskies. And it's going to be a low, squibby, bouncy kick, and grabbing and taking the knee is Donovan Rotini. And he'll have it, they have it at the 42, it looks like. As Donovan Rotini scooped that one up.
A nice catch.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a kind of a
skipping
ball type catch.
So how much time is left? Still a minute on the clock. A minute 03 seconds. St. Mary's 1st and 10. Better field position than they had a minute ago.
Yeah.
2 receivers far side, 2 near side. Actually, no, 1 far side, 1, 2 near side. Gibson shotgun. Snap. Fakes the handoff. Rolls to the far side. Throws it back across the body to Wilson. It's caught, but for a short gain. That's one of those ones where you try to get the defense thinking you're going one way, and you throw it back across to try to get some good matchups on the opposite side. It was about a 4-yard pickup. 2nd and 6 for the Lumberjacks. One receiver far side, two near side. 30 seconds to go before halftime. The snap. Gibson's going to look, surveys the field, goes across the middle, and just out of the reach, just behind Brady Martin. A little discombobulation here for our receivers and our quarterback. 25 seconds, 3rd and 7. St. Mary's does get the ball to start the second half. St. Mary's two receivers near side, one up to the far side. Gibson shotgun, flanked by Wilson, takes the snap. He's looking, still looking. Now he's got plenty of time to throw. He's directing traffic. He's scrambling. Now he's going to throw it to the middle of the field. Wide open is Bub Asbury at the 30-yard line.
Timeout. There we go. 13 seconds to go. We called a timeout.
And I think that's our last timeout. So 1st and 10 from the 30 after that nice completion from Gibson to Asbury, as Asbury was able to get wide open in the middle of the field. And that's what having a good offensive line will do, too.
Yeah, the line gave him plenty of time. The way this is playing out, like, we're not having any trouble getting open at all.
Yeah.
It's just that we're a little, like you said, discombobulated as far as, completing the plays.
St. Mary's actually has one timeout left, though. I thought we'd used 2 already. The Huskies have none. So we could try one more chunk play to get down closer and then either try to go to the end zone if there's enough time and maybe give Bub a chance at the end to kick a field goal if we're down close enough. We get the ball at second half start anyway, so I'm curious to see how Coach Tepp plays this. Nope, now it says 0 timeouts. Never mind. They just didn't get it off the board yet. So no timeouts left for either team.
So they only need to throw the ball for an incomplete pass to stop the clock.
Yeah, to the sidelines or to the touchdown. One or the other.
Yeah, right. Either the sidelines or a touchdown.
Or, like you said, incomplete. 2 receivers near side, one up to the far side. Gibson shotgun, flanked by Wilson. Asbury, Sealer, and Lohman at wide receiver. Gibson, plenty of time. He's going to go out of the pocket, and we're going to get a holding flag. 2 penalties come in on that one.
Going to get McGregor for the hold.
He's going to pick somebody as a receiver. So St. Mary's will go back 10 yards.
Well, this would be a nice Hail Mary for the end zone, Tim.
That brings up 1st and 20. That looks like more than 20. Oh, because it's from the point of the foul. So Gibson was, or not from where the ball was, I guess. Gibson was 5 yards in the backfield.
1st and 25.
Gibson takes a snap. He's looking. He's going to step up in the pocket. He's going deep. Lohman's open on the sideline. And, Lohman almost makes the catch over the top of the defender, and it just barely comes off of his fingertips. How exciting would that have been? I don't think he would have been able to keep his feet and get into the end zone if he would have caught it, but it still would have been a great catch. Time runs out at the end of the first half. St. Mary's on top, 21-7 over the North Fremont Huskies here in the 2A state football playoff. We'll be back in 2 minutes.
For all your plumbing needs, call Nick's Plumbing and Heating. With Nick's professional staff, you can be assured of guaranteed quality products, installation, service, and repair of all of your plumbing. So if you have plumbing needs or problems, call the good folks at Nick's Plumbing and Heating. Call 245-5460. That's 245-5460. Nick's Plumbing and Heating. Installation, service, and repair when you need it. Nick's Plumbing and Heating, St. Mary's.
Are your friends and family tired of sleeping with Fido when they visit? Maybe Fido's tired of sleeping with them. Either way, the Pines Motel is there to save the day. With large, spacious rooms, comfortable beds, and even a mini fridge, Fido may get jealous. Save the floor for Fido and call Kevin of the Pines Motel at 245-2545. That's the Pines Motel in St. Mary's. I'm sure your friends and family would appreciate it, and so would Fido.
And we are back, and right now we have our Senior Spotlight feature. Today we talked with Zach Rouse. And we have St. Mary's Lumberjack Senior, Zach Rouse, here for today's Senior Spotlight, and we're going to ask him a few questions before he gets ready for his game today. Zach, which sports do you play? What's your favorite and why?
I play golf and football, and football by far.
I figured you might have been a wrestler. I'm kind of surprised. What do you like about playing sports? What don't you like, and what have you learned?
I just like the physicality of football and everything, and being able to enjoy it with your friends.
All right. What are your goals here in your last year in high school, both on and off the off the course and the field?
Well, I just hope to do my best, make a name for myself. Yeah.
That's a good answer. All right, well, we are talking with St. Mary's Lumberjack Senior Zach Rouse. His answers are short and sweet, so we'll take a 2-minute break, and we'll be back with a little bit more with Rouse. Rouse, what are your plans after high school?
To go on a mission.
All right. What would you say is your most memorable moment?
Not sure. They've all been too good to count.
All right. Do you have anybody you'd like to thank?
Just my team and my coaches. They've always been supporting me and everything, and they've helped me have a great senior year.
All right. Well, thank you for your time, and good luck today and in your future.
Thanks.
And that was St. Mary's Lumberjack Senior Zach Rouse. We'll take a 2-minute break and come back with more. And we are back, and it is halftime here at the Kibbe Dome. The St. Mary's Lumberjacks lead the North Fremont Huskies by a score of 21-7 here in the quarterfinals of the 2A state football playoffs en route to the Idaho Milk Bowl championship game. And, Tim, what are some of your thoughts on the first half and also some defensive stats?
Well, my observation is our offense is a little out of sync. Okay, it just doesn't. We don't seem real smooth. And that fumble by Sealer, I don't think that was even forced. I didn't see anybody hit the ball. But give that as it may be, our defense has been just absolutely outstanding. They have done nothing to us offensively. A couple of pass plays, and one was really lucky. Our defense is really holding the day. And as far as defensive statistics go, Caleb Brown has 3 tackles and 3 for loss. Just really, you did that all in one little stretch there. Donovan Rotini has 4 tackles for 2 for loss. Zach Rouse has 6 tackles. He has 1 forced fumble and 1 forced fumble recovery. And Brady Martin has a touchdown on a forced fumble. Then Nate Masterson has 3 tackles, 1 for loss. And Caden Hall has 3 tackles. So, again, you look up and down the line as far as the defensive effort. It's spread up and down the line. We've been dominant defensively. They haven't done anything to us. And if our offense comes out in the second half and gets on track, I think this will be an easy game for us.
Yeah, they've definitely got to come out and get a little bit smoother and a little bit more in connection with each other on especially the passing game. Taking a look at the offensive statistics for the game so far, total yards for both teams, North Fremont has 100 yards on the game. St. Mary's has 179 yards. North Fremont is only averaging 3.5 yards per play. St. Mary's is averaging almost 6 yards per play, 5.6 per play. 44 yards passing for North Fremont, 83 for St. Mary's. Rushing, 56 yards for the Huskies, 96 yards for the Lumberjacks. Penalties, 2 for 15 yards for the Huskies, 4 for 30 for the Lumberjacks. 3 turnovers for the Huskies, 1 for St. Mary's. They've lost 3 fumbles, the Huskies have. St. Mary's lost 1 fumble, and that one was the touchdown that the Huskies have on the board. I don't think the time of possession once again is accurate on here. It says St. Mary's has had the ball for 5 minutes, and North Fremont has had it for 17. So I don't know. But St. Mary's really hasn't had the ball for a long time. So, I mean, I still don't think that's accurate. for that number. Going into individuals, Keeper Gibson, 8 for 14 for 83 yards and a touchdown. Donovan Rotini leads with rushing, 7 carries for 34 yards and a touchdown. Nate Masterson has 2 carries for 28 yards. Gibson has 2 carries for 19 yards. Receiving, Sealer has 4 catches for almost 40 yards. Bud Asbury has 1 catch for 24 yards. Brady Martin, 1 for 16 and a touchdown. Dakota Wilson has 2 receptions for 4 yards. Kicking, extra points, we are, it says 1 for 1, but I think we're 1 for 2 on the extra points. We did miss one. So that is that. We haven't punted the ball yet today. For the Huskies, they are, let's see here, passing 2 for 3 is Stockton Dye for 44 yards. Garrett Hawks is throwing 2 passes for no completion. Rushing, it says Dye has 8 carries for 24 yards. Garrett Hawks has 7 for 15. Sean Bell, 2 for 13. And Sawyer Dye, 7 for 4, which he has a few more carries than that because I goofed up on putting the right guy for the stats on that. Receiving, Garrett Hawks, the only guy to make a catch, 2 catches for 44 yards. And that's the amount of their stats for them as well. 1 punt for North Fremont. It was about a 33-yard punt, and it was inside the 20. So that's a look at the statistics here in the first half. Second half, I think we've already said, St. Mary's just needs to clean up the offensive side, and the defense is doing a good job. They've had a couple of plays that they've right get behind them, but nothing serious.
Well, my observation is, and Dean over here as well has made the same observation, is that when we go back to pass, we have 2 or 3 guys open, and it doesn't seem like Keeper's able to pick them up.
Yeah, either that or he's waiting for it to develop further, or he's waiting too long to throw it.
Right, and I just think that slowed us down. We're just not really in a good flow thinking on the offense, but I don't understand why exactly.
So I do want to give a couple of quick shout-outs while we got a moment here. A couple of birthdays back over in St. Mary's. Darren Jackson Jr. is his birthday today. It is also Kerry Titus's birthday over at KNRH Printing. Donovan Rotini's birthday. He is here with us today down there on the football field playing some football.
He's 21.
And it is also Douglas Masender Jr. his birthday. He was a Lumberjack football player. And I want to wish Austin Shearmeister a good luck and any of the other guys from north up here that are racing at the Boise Enduro Cross today down in Boise. So that's that. As the Huskies get set to kick off. Hopefully I didn't throw all my stuff down here. Anything I needed.
I guess Jake Cedar's ankle's all right. He's out there.
The kickoff, it's going to be a bit of a onside, recovered by St. Mary's. Number 58, that is, I don't have him on my roster. If you can look at the roster for St. Mary's and tell me who number 58 is.
58 is, you don't have a 58.
For St. Mary's?
Yeah.
No, not on that roster.
Oh, on this roster?
Yeah.
50, don't have one here either.
Nick Ozark.
Okay. On my roster, it's 70, so. Here we go.
St. Mary's has it. 2 receivers. Pitch out on a reverse to Caleb Brown. He squeaks through 2 tacklers all the way down to the 40 and down to the 35-yard line. I thought they had him hit right behind the line of scrimmage, and he squeaked through him like he was greased.
Yeah, he did. He looked like he was, that's exactly when he looked like he was greased. That was hilarious.
I thought he was tackled for a loss. Instead, it's a gain all the way down to the 34-yard line.
That's amazing.
That was a 15-yard pickup for the Lumberjacks. Next one is another handoff.
Keeney, that time he goes back to the line of scrimmage.
Well, Keeney looked like he picked up no gain.
Nothing in the line of scrimmage.
So 2nd and 10 for the Lumberjacks now. Lumberjack receivers come out on the field. Got Asbury and Sealer and Lohman. I haven't really paid attention because I know one of the coaches said ask Tech to run it more on 2nd down. I haven't paid attention to that comparison. 2 receivers far side, 2 to the near side. Gibson takes the snap. It's the option for Brown, and he has an open lane and blocking in front of him. And if he would have bounced out more to the sideline, he may have been able to get down the sideline for the touchdown, but he gets tripped up after a first down, a gain of 10. 11 yards for Brown.
Well, that answers your question right there. They ran the ball on second down.
Yes, they did. So 1st and 10 from the 23-yard line of the Huskies. St. Mary's comes out again with 4 wide receivers, 2 to the far side, 2 to the near side. Gibson shotgun. 1 man lined up in the backfield. That's Dakota Wilson. Gibson takes the snap, and again, it's going to be Gibson. He's going to actually hold on to it this time and pick up a couple of yards.
I think that was a planned run all the way, a quarterback run, because he faked the pitch and just cut right back up, and he really cut into the traffic.
Yeah. Well, and Gibson, I think on some of those reads, the defensive ends and stuff, too, to see if there's going to be room on that outside, if he should pitch it or not. But there's only actually about a 1-yard gain. I put it as a 2-yard gain. 2nd and 9. This time everybody in tight. 2 running backs lined up behind Gibson. So handoff to Rotini. Rotini's going to stutter step and then continue the same way he's going, and it actually helped him. He picked up about 2 or 3 more yards on his carry. If I give him a 2-yard pickup, that should put us at about the right at the 6, 3rd and 6. So St. Mary's changing their personnel once again.
That's where the depth really comes into play and keeps us fresh.
Yeah.
We've got so many bodies we put in.
Well, we also have 3 offensive linemen that rotate in and out.
Right.
2 to the near side, 2 to the far side. Gibson takes the shotgun snap, and it's that pitch again, and this time it's fumbled, and I don't know who came up with it.
We got it 4th down, but
that was a bad series there as it was pitched to.
Again, here's that disunity, this out of sync offense again.
We lost about 6 yards on the carry, everything we gained to that point.
Yeah.
So it's 4th and about 11. Luckily, he was able to jump on it.
Yeah. Well, we need a big play here, Tim.
Got 2 receivers near side, 1 up to the far side. Gibson shotgun, flanked by Brown. Takes the snap. Gibson lifts over. He's going to throw it. He's got wide open Loman, and it's tipped away at the last second by Hawks. That time Gibson didn't wait long to try to find his receiver, but the coverage closed quickly, tipped it away, incomplete.
That was a nice defensive play by the Husky.
Yeah, Garrett
went up there and tipped the ball away from him because he would have caught it if he hadn't.
And actually, I think if Keeper could have led that further out in front of him to where he could have ran underneath it. Instead, he kind of floated it a little bit.
Right.
So the discombobulation between the passing game still kind of is there a little bit. Everybody in bunch tight for the Huskies on offense. Dye under center. Dye takes the snap. He hands it off to the first man. That's the other Dye. That's probably his brother, we're assuming. And he's going to pick up a good chunk of yardage on that carry, about 6 or 7.
Caden Hall was the tackler on that play.
I'll give him 8 yards on the carry. Sawyer Dye. So it's 2nd and 2.
Okay, our guys need to really buck up now. We look a little lethargic out there, actually.
Well, we definitely got to hold them, and we don't want to give up any more points here to the Huskies.
No.
The Huskies come up the line of scrimmage in tight once again, showing a run formation. Dye under center takes the snap, and he's going to pitch it to the guy in the back. Brady Martin sheds the tackle and sheds the block and gets the tackle for about a 4-yard loss.
There's a case where our speed stopped them from getting around the end. Our team speed is, when we play the ball right, our team speed is excellent on the outside.
Well, I think that blocker, I don't know. I mean, Brady Martin just shed that blocker like nothing. And I don't know if that blocker was supposed to be trying to get to the second level and just slow down Martin a little bit, but he didn't slow him down at all. 3rd and 5, actually it looks like about 6 or 7 for the Huskies. They take the snap, they hand it off to Hawks. Hawks has blocking out in front of him, and he's going to get through to the first down and more, and he's all the way up to the 43-yard line.
Dakota Wilson made the tackle on that.
So a good gain and a first down for the Huskies on that play. 1st and 10 from about the 42. Still on their own side of the field are the Huskies. 6:44 to go in the third quarter. Jacks on top 21-7. Lumberjack football on KOFE. The Huskies, one receiver to the far side. Under center's Dye. Dye takes the snap. Hands it off to the first man through. Big hole, and that's number 22. First time I think he's carried it. No, Sean Bell. He's going to pick up 9 yards on that play.
Bob Asbury was the tackler on that play. He stopped a big gainer.
Gain of 8, 2nd and 2. The Lumberjacks giving up a few plays here on defense.
We are. We're not looking real crisp on defense all of a sudden. And they're looking really crisp on their runs.
Huskies break their huddle. They come to the line of scrimmage. One receiver to the top. No other receivers out. Everybody else bunched in. Dye under center. Takes the snap, fakes the handoff. It's going to be a pass. He's looking in the middle of the field, and it's incomplete, intended for Hawks. Coverage by Sealer and Edwards.
I'm surprised Jake didn't intercept that ball. He was right in line for it. He just didn't get his hands on it.
Good coverage there. 3rd and short for the Huskies. I would be expecting power run right here all the way by North Fremont. And they'll probably go for it on 4th down if we stop them.
That's their bread and butter is the power run, and they've actually been executing it quite well this half.
They come up the line of scrimmage. Everybody in tight. 3 running backs in the backfield. Dye under center. Snap. Hands off to the first man. He slips down. He should be down back at the 50, and he is. They are going to mark him down. And the Lumberjacks were making sure that they knew that he was down early because he fell down. No gain on the carry. 4th down.
Now here's a big test down for us.
Which St. Mary's got lucky with him losing his footing because he would have picked up the first down.
He would have had the first down.
Now we get a timeout taken by North Fremont. Will take it with them with 5:15 to go in the third. St. Mary's on top, 21-7. 4th and short. We'll be back in 30 seconds. And we are back. They are still in the timeout at the moment. Looks like they're about ready to break their huddle. I think St. Mary's was actually all ready to break the huddle. And the Huskies come up to the line of scrimmage. There, everybody's in tight, showing that run formation. 3 running backs in the backfield. Dye under center. Strong side is to the far side of the field. And they give St. Mary's the jump off sides. I think Rotini bit on the hard count. And I think
that's our 4th penalty now.
So that'll give up a first down to the Huskies. You've really got to watch that on those 4th or those short yardage situations. You've got to really be on your A game on that snap count.
Yeah, that was disappointing.
1st and 10 from the Lumberjack 45 for the Huskies now. They come out with a receiver up to the top. Dye under center, 2 running backs in the backfield. Dye takes the snap, hands it off to the first man through. He's going to be met by a host of Lumberjacks after he picks up 5 yards.
Zach Rouse made the tackle.
And trying to see the number on the running back. That was number 26. So they're starting to mix up their running backs a little bit. Looks like a 5-yard gain. So 2nd and 5 from the 40 of St. Mary's. Again, the Huskies have 1 receiver to the far side. Everybody else in tight. 2 running backs. Dye under center. Takes the snap. Hands off up the middle. And that's going to be number 88. Sawyer Dye with the carry up the middle for another first down.
Paul's the tackler on that.
So the Huskies have a little something going.
Yeah,
there.
they do. They're starting to punch some holes on our line.
And they're down now inside the 35-yard line. They're down to the 34 of St. Mary's and driving. 4:20 to go in the third quarter. St. Mary's on top 21-7. Under center is Dye. One receiver to the far side. Takes the snap, hands it off again to Sawyer Dye. This time wrapped up by Caden Hall and Zach Rouse for a short gain. Maybe 2 yards on the carry. 2nd and 8.
We need to buck up on defense. We really do. We need to stiffen.
So the Huskies taking a little bit of extra time now in their huddles.
Well, right now it's just plain power football.
They have that same receiver up to the far side. 2 receivers backfield. Dye under center. Dye takes the snap, fakes the handoff, and gives it to Hawks instead. Hawks is going to be stopped short of the first down, but he picks up a good chunk on the misdirection on that play. And Rotini's coming off the field. Looks like he's having some more issues with his health.
Nate Masterson was the tackler on that play.
Three-yard pickup, I'm going to say. Nope, actually it was more than that. 3rd and 2 for the Huskies. Rotini, I think, is still having equipment issues as he comes off the field. Now a receiver to the near side. Dye under center. 3rd and short for the Huskies. Expect to run. Now we got a movement by Hawks, and that's going to be a false start, illegal procedure there on North Fremont. So with the way it's been going on this drive, we'll take that help from the Huskies. 3rd and 7 now. Rotini is now got his stuff ready, and he's back in. Chad Dickerson comes off the field. The Huskies huddle up again. They must be changing their play call. Now they're all bunched in. No wide receivers out on this one. 3 running back in the backfield. Dye under center. Dye takes the snap, pitches it out to Hawks. Hawks is going to throw it. They've got the receiver caught, and he's going to stretch it out. They're going to call him down. No, they're going to give him the touchdown. Wow. So we got forward on the fake again, and that time they make the connection for the touchdown. As our defender did not have the field position, on him. And really, that's one of those cases where I don't know who it was on coverage. I couldn't see the number, but he probably should have just tackled him early and got called for the PI.
I think it was Patrick Asbury was the defender.
Well, they line up the extra point to make this a one-score game. The snap, the hold, the kick, and it is good. So just like that, we've got a 21-14 game. St. Mary's is still on top. 2:23 to go in the 3rd. North Fremont trying to mount a comeback. We'll be back in 1 minute.
Hey, you're listening to a rebroadcast of the 2016 St. Mary's Lumberjack football playoffs against the North Fremont Huskies, and next Friday we will be airing the semifinal game against the Bear Lake Bears. So be ready to tune in for that, just to relive kind of those games back in 2016. Right now, though, back to the North Fremont Huskies and Lumberjacks.
And we are back as the Huskies get set to kick off. You're listening to Lumberjack football on KOFE 1240, 2A state football playoffs, Lumberjacks and the North Fremont Huskies. And it's a 21-14 game with St. Mary's on top by 7. They need to put some points on the board here on this possession just to stretch that back out.
You know, we've gotten the ball down inside the 20-yard line about 3 times and not scored. I mean, that's really hurt us.
That's the first big sustained drive by the Huskies.
Yes, it was.
And if it's the only sustained drive, I'll be good with it.
It was a power.
They're going to kick this one out of bounds down at the 20. That's going to be a penalty on the kickoff. So St. Mary's will take the ball.
Plus the penalty, I assume. The 35-yard line. No, they're giving them a penalty, right?
It was an illegal procedure, I think is what they call it. So St. Mary's will have the ball. 1st and 10 on the 35-yard line.
All right, St. Mary's, we need to get in high gear. Let's go, offense.
The first play is a handoff to Dakota Wilson. He's going to try to get to the outside, but good defense as the Huskies able to shed their blocks right at the end. It's going to be a decent pickup, but
that's almost 6 yards.
It was good defense, too, by North Fremont. A pickup of 6 yards by Dakota Wilson. So that'll bring up 2nd and 4 for St. Mary's, down on their own 41-yard line. 2 receivers up the top for St. Mary's, 1 down here to the near side. Gibson shotgun with 2 running backs behind him. They're flanking him. Takes the snap, fakes the handoff, cross buck to Brown, and Brown's going to power it up the middle for a first down.
That was a good misdirection play off the tackle up the middle for about 6 yards. It was really a good play. We need to do more of this.
Yeah, a little bit of that cross buck action. Right. They faked the handoff one way and then gave it the other. So 1st and 10 for St. Mary's, up to the 47-yard line, 48-yard line. Still on their own side of the field. They've got 2 receivers to the far side. Gibson in the shotgun, flanked by a running back. Takes the snap. It's a little bit wide, and Gibson's knee went down trying to reach for the snap, so it's going to be a loss of a few yards as Gibson had to stretch out for that.
Try a loss of about 5 yards.
Wow.
There is a case where you shoot yourself in the foot, Tim.
That's Helford just a little bit off on the snap on that one. So it's 2nd and 15. 2 receivers far side, 2 near side. Gibson, 1 running back in the backfield. In the shotgun, takes the snap, fakes the quick throw, hands it off on the draw to Wilson, and it's going to be met for a short gain. Maybe a yard or 2 on the pickup. So 3rd and long for St. Mary's from the 44-yard line. Real pretty sound defense by the Huskies.
Yes, they do have a good defense, and we're just not in sync offensively.
3 receivers to the far side, 1 down here to the near side. Gibson shotgun. He's flanked by Brown. Takes the snap. Fakes that again. Looks. Throws it to the flat to Brown. Brown, open lane to run, and he's going to power down to about the 50 to 43-yard line. So it's going to be 4th and short.
Fourth and about 1. Not even really 1, about a half. About 3/4 of a 4th and 1.
St. Mary's definitely going to go for it here. And then we get a timeout taken, and I think it's by the Huskies. Oh no, into the 3rd quarter. St. Mary's is on top, 21-14, going into the final frame. We'll be back in 30 seconds.
If you have OCD, obsessive coffee disorder, then stop by Shift and Grind, located in the green building right across the street from Jack's Pharmacy. Shift and Grind is a proud Lumberjack supporter and has something for everyone. From regular coffees to lattes, mochas, and more, Shift and Grind will keep your day going. Try a Red Bull infused or Lotus energy drink if you're not a coffee fan. On Lumberjack home game days, wear your Lumberjack colors and get a discount on your favorite drink. Shift and Grind now has indoor seating. Shift and Grind open 5 to 6 Monday through Friday, 6 to 4 on the weekends. Shift and Grind, 132 North 1st Street, right here in St. Mary's.
We are back as we get set to start the 4th quarter. St. Mary's is still on top, holding on to a 7-point lead over the North Fremont Huskies. They'll switch in, and it's 4th and short for St. Mary's. They have got to pick up this first down. I say we pull out the trick that we used against Grangeville and let Keeper keep it up the middle and just power behind him. Everybody inside in the wedge formation, and that's what they're going to do. They're going to push the pile as Keeper holds it. And we definitely, well, not definitely, but it sure as heck looks like we should have the first down. And if this official back here, okay, we did get the first down.
Good deal. That kind of
scared me because
I did too. I got
this official, I didn't know if he was marking where the ball was. He was not in the right spot if he was. So it's first and 10 from the 41-yard line.
There's that scrum play. They just push the ball right up the face of the defense.
St. Mary's comes out, 2 receivers to the near side. Gibson in the shotgun, flanked by Wilson. Takes the snap, fakes the handoff. He rolls out, and he tries to run the ball himself. Flag comes in.
Now, there was no defensive player around him.
They may have been a face mask.
Yeah. I bet they did.
Gibson even had his helmet come off. And if Gibson's helmet comes off, they may have to substitute a different quarterback in for him because his helmet come off. So he's got to come out for the play, I think. And it is a face mask at the end. North Fremont.
I don't know what took them so long to figure out it was a face mask, but they were conferring down there for quite a while.
So it should be first and 10 down to around the 26-yard line. I don't know. The keeper has to.
Whoa, wait a minute. They're
only a 5-yard. They play first down. Huh.
Well, it's an automatic.
It's an automatic first down.
Well, I don't get it. It's first and 6, it looks like.
So the snap, handoff to Rotini. Rotini has plenty of room to run. He makes one guy fall down, still on his feet, all the way inside the 30, the 25.
Well, that was a good run by Rotini. He got in the open field, and he juked one guy, made him miss, and then cut back in and got about 5 more yards.
Down to the 23-yard line, roughly 13-yard gain for Rotini, and that was with Gibson out of the game because Gibson had to come out for his helmet coming off.
Masterson took the snap as the quarterback.
So first and 10, St. Mary's deep down in North Fremont territory once again. One receiver far side, one near side. Gibson shotgun. Double wing formation, it looks like. Snap. Gibson drops. Looks over the field. He's got room to run. He's going to break out and scramble. He's coming down the sideline. He's going to take it himself. And he's going to be tackled way out of bounds. No flag. Down to about the 20-yard line. So second 5.
Well, I'm surprised they didn't throw a flag on that. Because he was way out of bounds when he tackled him.
Yeah, he was stepping out of bounds when the defender jumped on his back. Second 5 from the 18. 19-yard line. 2 receivers, one far side, one near side. Running back, 2 of them in the backfield. Renfrew and Rotini. Gibson takes the snap from the pistol, hands off to Rotini. Rotini has blocking. He breaks it to the far side. He's got room. Can he outrun the defender? He jukes him. Dives into the end zone. Touchdown, Donovan Rotini.
Well, I'll tell you what, Rotini made a great run. He made the run just like he did before, where he actually juked the guy and slowed the guy down and then went in the end zone.
18 yards on the run by Donovan Rotini. They've been praising Donovan in practice on the way he's been taking those cuts now instead of just trying to run downhill. He's turning into a running back late in the season that actually has a few moves.
Yeah. Yeah. That was a great run.
St. Mary's lines up for the 2-point conversion. And they're going to take the snap, hand it off, and it's going to be stopped short. There's Caleb Brown on the carry, and I don't know. That's okay. We're up by two touchdowns or 2 scores again. St. Mary's is 27-14 with 10:35 to go in the contest. We'll be back in 30 seconds.
Cold weather is coming, and 10th Street Lumber has what you need. From super premium pellets to energy logs and fireplaces, 10th Street Lumber will help you stay warm all winter long. North Idaho energy logs and stove pellets are the best of the best. 100% natural with no chemicals and burn cleaner, hotter, and longer. If you need a new stove, 10th Street Lumber is a proud Kuma stove supplier. Kuma wood stoves are made right here in Idaho and are some of the best on the market. 10th Street Lumber in St. Mary's. Stop by today. Located on 10th and Railroad Avenue in St. Mary's.
And we are back as St. Mary's gets set to kick off here with 10.5 minutes to go in the contest. St. Mary's back out to a 2-possession game over the Huskies. So it gives them just enough breathing room.
Well, we need to see him make a mistake. We need to get a touch. We need to score another touchdown before they score.
Yeah.
And then the game's ours.
Bub runs it down, kicks it deep. It's going to go over the head. Nope, he's able to reach up and make the catch at the 10. And he's going to make one guy miss and a couple other guys. Now that's Sawyer Dye, and he's up to 22.
I'm going to give Green the tackle on that. There was a bunch of guys that made the tackle, but
they're going to mark the ball to 25. I didn't think he got all the way out to 25, but that's where they're going to give it to him pretty much, right at the 25-yard line.
All right, defense.
So the defense gave one drive up, and we need to make that be the only drive.
Right.
Because the only other score they had was on that fumble, and typically our defense only gives up about one drive a game.
Well,
so they're all in tight.
Our defense needs to shore up internally because they were just busting the ball up the middle.
All in tight for the Huskies. The handoff, a little bit of cross-puck action there, and Rouse is in there quickly, as is Dakota Wilson to make the tackle on Hawk. A couple of yards, and that's about it. Two yards for the Huskies. Huskies take their time in the huddle. Come to the line of scrimmage. First, second, and 8 from about the 27-yard line. They come out with two wide receivers this time. One thing we've got to be aware of is not get bit on that quarter where the receiver throws that ball out there. It's a quick throw out to number 3, makes the catch, and he's going to be met right away. That's number 3 is Oberhansley. It's going to be a short game.
Sealer made the tackle on that right after he caught the ball, so.
I'm not sure how long of a game that was.
About a yard and a half, Tim.
So 3rd and 4. Marley Masterson is listening to the game from Spain on Coffee Radio.
Okay. Hey, Marley.
Thank you for tuning in. Lumberjacks or the Huskies break the huddle. 3rd and about 4. They've got one receiver, it looks like, with everybody else in tight. 2 running backs and the Dye under center. Dye waits and takes the snap, hands it off. No, he keeps it. He's going to squeak through, and looks like he picks up enough for the first down. Nice little carry there by Dye.
Dylan Edwards made the tackle.
He barely got the first down. Looks like he got exactly 4 yards on the carry. The thing about this, though, that kind of goes against the Huskies is they're running the ball, they're taking time off in their huddle. So it's just going to burn the clock if they can't stop it, if they don't stop it. They've already used one of their timeouts. They come out with one receiver to the far side, everybody else maybe a jump on a false start there on North Fremont.
5 yards the other way.
So 1st and 15 now, back up to about the 30-yard line.
And that's what we need to have right there. We need to have them make some mistakes, move them back so that it puts them in a more difficult position.
Again, the Huskies in their huddle, but it didn't stop the clock. I thought the penalty might have stopped the clock. 8.5 and counting. This time they got 2 receivers, one top, one bottom. 2 running backs lined up behind Dye. And Dye's going to do a quick throw, and it's going to where's the push-off? I swear it looked like Hawks pushed off of Roush, and Hawks is down the sideline, finally shoved out of bounds at about the 10.
I think he did push off. I don't understand this.
It was really close.
There's no doubt that the offensive player pushed off on the defensive defender. I don't understand it at all.
It looked like Roush got pushed to the ground. No call, though. Wow. They did incidental contact. That puts North Fremont down 1st and 10 on the 10. 8 minutes in the game. Roush comes out. And now we get a timeout taken by the Lumberjacks. And we'll go ahead and take a quick timeout, too. It's St. Mary's 27, the Huskies 14. We'll be back in 30 seconds.
Wondering how to manage your retirement nest egg? How big should it be when you retire? Contact Jenny Oaks at Gateway Financial Partners to get the answers to these and all your other financial questions. The securities and advisory services offered through LPL Financial, a registered investment advisor. Member FINRA SIPC. With over 30 years of financial planning, give Jenny Oaks a call at Gateway Financial Partners today. The guidance is free. The experience is priceless. Call 245-5255.
Huskies come out with a receiver to the near side. Everybody bunched up. The handoff. No, it's a keeper by the quarterback, Stockton Dye. He's going to pick up 7 or 8. Stop short of the touchdown, though. He's going to be really close in there. So 2nd and goal for the Huskies. Marley Masterson wanted to send a shout-out to her brother, Nate Masterson. One receiver down to the near side. The Huskies speeding things up this time. It's going to be a handoff, and that's going nowhere. Or Dye actually kept it. He pulled it out. The quarterback did and tried to take it in, and he's going to be held up. Looks like he picked up maybe a yard. Zach Rouse made the tackle. Yep. All the way down to the 1-yard line. Defensive stand, big time needed here. It'd be great to hold them out on 4th and get them to 4th down. So the Huskies come out with one receiver down to the far side, 2 running backs in the back, in the near side, 2 running backs backfield, Dye under center. Hands it off to, no, it's Dye, kept it, he's going to lose yards. Great recognition by the Lumberjacks. Loss of 2 on the carry. That puts it back to 4th and 3, or 4th and goal from the 3-yard line. Nate Masterson and Zach Rouse were both in the tackle. All right, Nate Masterson and Rouse. And now we get another timeout taken, and this is going to be taken by the Huskies. And we're going to take a timeout as well. St. Mary's up 27-14, 6.5 to go in the contest. And the Huskies 4th and goal from the 3. We'll be back in 30 seconds. From the Kiddie Dome, you're listening to Lumberjack football on KOFE 1240 in St. Mary's, Idaho. Your Lumberjacks doing battle with the North Fremont Huskies in 2A state playoff action. It's 4th and 3 from the goal, or 4th and goal from the 3 for the Huskies. One receiver to the near side. Big stop here for the Lumberjacks if they can get it. The snap. He's going to fake the quick throw. He throws it. It's quick play by Jake Sealer. Sealer, baby. Way to go, Jake. Intended for, I believe, Hawks in the back of the end zone. Jake Sealer dives in there, tips it out of the back of the end zone. That was a great play by Sealer. That was just outstanding. So St. Mary's takes over on the 3-yard line. You can't have any mistakes here. No. You can't have any quarterback in the end zone hold called or anything. You got to probably just maybe try to pound it up the middle a couple times to get them through. Boy, I'll tell you, what a play by Jake. Woo! Now we all in tight in the wedge formation. Rotini, I believe, is in the backfield. Gibson under center. Gibson takes the snap. He's going to hand it off to Brown. Brown hits the outside, and he can't quite get around number 9. That's the quarterback, Stockton Dye, but he's still going to pick up some positive yards, about 4 yards on the carry. So that gives some breathing room to the Lumberjack offense. 2nd and 6 now from the 7-yard line. As Brady Martin comes into the huddle for the Lumberjacks. Brings in the play. 6:18 to go in the contest. Again, everybody in wedge formation. Lumberjacks going to just play some power ball on this possession. This time it's handed off to, I can't see who it was handed off to, but Donovan Rotini blew a guy all the way back about 10 yards behind. And that was Dakota Wilson on the carry. Picks up 4 more, about 3 more. Third about a yard, third and 3/4 of a yard. Third and, really short, actually. Almost a first down. Rotini blew up that one blocker. They were about 7 yards behind the line. Under center, wedge formation. Hand off to Brown. Brown cuts the outside, blockers in front, and he's got the first down out to the 26-yard line. All he had to do was beat one more guy, and he was gone, but that one guy made a pretty decent tackle on him. It's a first down for the Lumberjacks, though. 1st and 10, all the way out to the 26. 5.5 minutes to go. Lumberjacks look like they're going to wedge it up again. Everybody in tight. Gibson under center. Takes the snap. Hands it off the other way. It's Wilson again, I do believe. It is. And he picks up 3 on that carry. 3 yards. Curious to see if we try to pull our little jump pass out of this, where we run this a whole bunch up the middle and then try to get somebody open on the backside.
Right. Good drive so far.
Same formation, everybody in tight, Gibson under center. Gibson takes the snap, hands it off to Edwards. Edwards makes a cut out to the outside, gets the edge. He's going to pick up another 5 or 6 and get us that much closer to a first down, about a yard short.
Yeah, a little more than a yard.
It's like 3rd and maybe 3. Third and 3 from the 34-yard line as the time ticks down here. St. Mary's wedges it up again. Gibson takes the snap. This time hands off to Wilson. Wilson's going to fumble forward and, well, not fumble, but fumble forward and fall forward. He's going to be about a half a yard short on the first down.
Wow, I thought he had it.
I thought he did too. I thought he was a little bit further than that.
Yeah, I don't.
So it's 4th and 1. Let's see. St. Mary's going to go for it.
Yeah.
This is where I would say if you wanted to run a fake punt, because we're 4th and 1. St. Mary's going to wedge it up, though. They're going to trust the big guys, and probably Gibson's going to keep it this time. How much you want to bet?
I don't know.
The snap, they don't. It's handed off to Brown. Brown gets the outside. He's down the sideline. Great blocking. The 30, the 20, the 10, the 5. Tackle down at the 5. And a hard tackle, and he looked like he was hit pretty hard, but he fought back up.
Actually, that isn't all that bad.
No.
And the reason is because we're going to have the ball for more time. And we're down.
That was a 60-yard run by Brown.
Well, he busted that open and went down that sideline. But that was not a bad play for him to get tackled on the 5-yard line like that.
1st and goal from the 4-yard line for the Lumberjacks. And they're just going to continue in their wedge formation. The snap, the handoff to Edwards. Edwards bounces outside. He's got blockers. He dives into the end zone. Touchdown, Lumberjacks.
That's the straw that broke the camel's back right there.
The 4-yard scamper by Dylan Edwards, and that should put a nail in the coffin of this one. 3:34 to go. St. Mary's on top, 33-14 over the Huskies. See what St. Mary's opts to do. We got Asbury coming out, and it looks like Gibson's still on the field, so St. Mary's just going to continue the 2-point conversion tries here. Caleb Brown, of course, is where I would expect to see him. He's on the sideline guzzling some water. 2 receivers, one far, one near. Gibson takes the snap, fakes the handoff, rolls to the near side. He's looking, spins, and he's going to almost go down, throws it. Oh, it's broken up at the goal line, intended for Lohman. Good job by Kiefer to try to escape out of pressure and still keep his feet under him to be able to throw that out there, but no good. That's okay, though.
And other than that fumble by Jake, this is a 33-7 game.
Yeah.
I mean,
exactly.
This game isn't all that close.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I kind of said is that if you take away the defensive points for North Fremont, we're still in our realm of how many points we've allowed to opposing teams.
Right.
And we're right there with our average per game. It was definitely a hard-fought battle, though.
Yeah, it was. There was some twists and turns. The other thing that's interesting here is now to see what North Fremont does. Yeah. Whether they're going to come out and try to run the ball, and I think they're going to try to pass the ball, and this is where
probably so
we can maybe get a turnover here.
They're down 3 scores. They're going to have to throw it if they want to.
With 3:44
try to do anything. So.
3:34 to go, I would say so, yeah.
So Bud Asbury will line up to kick off. I'm expecting another one just down the middle to the back, deep back there. They've got a different guy in that received this kick. I think it's Garrett Hawk. I wonder if 88 Dye was shaken up a little bit or something earlier because he's not out there. He was the normal up back for the Huskies.
Well, they're putting a couple, 3 guys back deep this time, actually.
Asbury lines the guys up, approaches the ball, and that's not going to go 10 yards. It actually is. Bounces off a bunch of guys. St. Mary's recovered.
I think St. Mary's got it. I think they did. I think St. Mary's had the ball.
Dickerson on the recovery. But did it touch a Lumberjack or not? Yeah, that's what I thought. One of our guys tried to jump out of the way of it as it bounced at about the 50, and I thought he did touch it.
Oh, wow. Well, that was close.
Woo! If he would have cleared it, we would have recovered that. But good job by St. Mary's on still pursuing that ball. So it'll be 1st and 10 from the 49-yard line of St. Mary's for the Huskies. And the Huskies come out with 2 receivers to the far side. First time I've seen them split out 2 to one side of the field. Dye is under center. Everybody else in tight behind him. The snap, and he's going to hold on to it to throw. He throws it out into the flat. Lumberjacks are ready for it, and I think that was Dylan Edwards with the tackle in the backfield for the loss. They tried the little screenplay out to Hawks, and it did not go anywhere. Lumberjacks read that pretty well. Now they split a wide receiver to the near side, 1 to the far side. The Huskies do. Under center is Dye with 2 running backs behind him. Dye waiting for the snap, takes it. He's going to do a quick throw. They don't. Oh, it's picked off! Dylan Edwards bats it down. Asbury's there to grab it. Asbury coming near side. He's looking for blocks. He gets one from Sealer to the 50. He's got blockers out in front. He's got one guy to beat. Finally tackled at the 20-yard line. Late penalty flag comes in. Nice job there by the Lumberjack defense as Dylan Edwards bats it down. Bub is there to take it all the way to the 15. I think the penalty is going to be a late something or other on St. Mary's. A 54-yard return right now on it. And see what they called. North Fremont seems upset about the call. So is it against North Fremont or is it against St. Mary's?
Against St. Mary's.
So it is against St. Mary's. The penalty was at the 30 to 25. 29-yard line. This is where the penalty will be assessed from. So Bub's 50-yard return is knocked down by a 15-yard penalty.
I don't know.
So I guess it was a block in the back.
Must have been a block in the back, yeah.
And that was with 2:30.
There he goes. There goes Zach around the sideline. He's down. He's got a first down to the 29-yard line. Like, you need to.
Was that Zach Rinsler?
That was
25.
It was not Zach. It was Rotini.
Oh, Rotini. Gain of 13 for Rotini.
I don't know why I said Zach. I meant Rotini.
So the Lumberjack first down.
His name's not Zach Rotini. His name's Donovan Rotini.
Rotini's going to come off the field.
He needs to hurry.
Lumberjacks get under center. 1 receiver near side, 1 far side. I formation, Gibson under center. I can't see us throwing the ball here. We just try to melt the clock down at this point. Gibson looking over, takes, snap, hands it off. That is Wilson, I do believe. and Wilson powers forward for a couple of yards. Give him 3 yards on the carry.
Healy just went in.
Lumberjacks. Healy is one of our offensive linemen. See if we have any of our, looks like we're still using most of our main guys in here. Under a minute and a half to go. St. Mary's on their way to a semifinals playoff game for the first time in Lumberjack history. Hand off this time to Brown. No, Gibson's going to keep it. It was going to be a designed rollout, and Gibson is going to lose some yards. The Huskies not fooled on that play. Negative loss of 3 yards there for Gibson. That was going to be a design draw, rollout type of thing, and it didn't go anywhere. Under a minute to go. Lumberjacks slowly break their huddle, come to the line of scrimmage. I formation, no receivers out wide for the Lumberjacks. Gibson under center. Gibson takes the snap, hands it off. It's to, I believe, Brown was the carrier that time. And he's going to get a few yards on the carry. And that should be the last play the Lumberjacks have to run from the offensive side of things. 4th and 7, and St. Mary's going to win. 24 seconds to go here from the Kibbie Dome. Coach Stepps is calling the team over because they don't have to run a play here at this point. The time is going to expire, and the crowd goes wild for the Lumberjacks as St. Mary's will be on to face the winner of Bear Lake and New Plymouth next weekend. It'll either be in the Holt Arena over at in Pocatello or down in New Plymouth and the outside field. In one case, you kind of like playing inside, but we don't want to drive that far. But St. Mary's wins 33-14 over the North Fremont Huskies here in the quarterfinals. We'll be back in 3 minutes for the final game wrap-up.
Triple X Feeds in St. Mary's is your one-stop farm and garden shop. Everything from pet supplies to livestock feeds and supplies, Triple X Feeds has it. Horse supplies, they have that also. From saddle pads to bridles, Triple X Feeds can set you up. Triple X Feeds now has hay and alfalfa in stock as well as straw. Triple X Feeds, located at 130 East College Avenue in St. Mary's, open 8 to 5:30 weekdays and 9 to 5 on Saturdays. Triple X Feeds, a proud Lumberjack sports broadcast sponsor.
And we are back here in the Kibbie Dome. The Lumberjacks come away with a 33-14 victory over the North Fremont Huskies to continue on to the semifinals of the 2A state playoffs. And it's a record-breaking day.
It is. First time in the school's history they've ever gone to the semifinals.
One more game, Tim, and we can get that championship game.
That's right.
All right. Well, go ahead and tell us about your defensive statistics over there.
Well, I'm going to say this again. Our defense, and there's no getting around it, our defense carried us today. Our offense was a little bit out of sync. But Brown had 3 tackles and 3 for loss, which is just amazing. Donovan Rortini had 4 tackles for 2 for loss. Dakota Wilson had 4 tackles, which is a little unusual for Dakota. Bub Asbury had 2 tackles and 1 interception. And then we get down to Zach Rouse, who I called Zach Rotini, but it's Zach Rouse. He had 10 tackles. And of the 10 tackles, he had a forced fumble and a fumble recovery. Caden Hall had 6 tackles, and Nate Masterson had 6 tackles and 1 sack. So, again, our defense really won the game, especially down here on that end zone stand.
Yeah.
That was absolutely incredible.
That was the biggest play, probably some of the biggest play in the game right there was getting that stop down there.
Jake Sealer with that tip pass down there in the end zone. What a play.
Well, and then the tip drill interception.
The trip drill interception.
Dylan Asbury. I'd have to say, it's hard to really say here, but Zach Rouse would be definitely a nominee for a defensive player of the game if I was picking a defensive player of the game here today.
10 tackles with a forced fumble and a fumble recovery, I'd say so.
So we'll look here at the offensive statistics now for this game. Now, North Fremont was able to put up the most yards on us. I think maybe they might. I have to look back at the other games. But North did tally 251 total yards against us on offense.
That's the most.
St. Mary's 379 yards of offense, though. St. Mary's ran 61 plays to North Fremont's 50. We averaged 6 yards a carry. North Fremont bumped it up to 5 yards a carry after being held pretty low in the first quarter. Passing yardage, they outgained us in the air, 140 yards to our 96, as our passing game was just the main one that was out of sync today. Rushing yards, though, St. Mary's 283 yards on the ground, 111 yards for North Fremont. And I think
that's interesting because that's just a flip on what you would have thought it would have been because they're a run-heavy team and we're not.
Well, and looking at those stats, I still think it keeps us in our averages on defense. Looking at the receiving yards, penalties, both teams ended up with 6 penalties for 45 yards, so not too bad. 4 turnovers for the Huskies, only 1 turnover for St. Mary's. They won the turnover battle. Punting, we didn't punt it once. They did punt it once for 33 yards. First down, St. Mary's tallied 18 first downs. North Fremont only able to get 9. 4 of 11 on third down conversions for St. Mary's, 4 of 12 for the Huskies, 1 of 5 on fourth downs for the Huskies, 3 of 8 for the Lumberjacks. Keeper Gibson was 9 of 16, 96 yards and a touchdown. Still a fairly efficient game for him, even with the out of sync that they were. Caleb Brown ended up leading the Lumberjacks in rushing after his big 60-yard run in the end. 99 carries, 114 yards. Donovan Rotini, 12 carries for 80 yards. Donovan had 2 touchdowns today. He showed some moves that we hadn't seen most of the season. Nate Masterson had 2 carries for 28 yards. Dakota Wilson had 10 carries for 26 yards. Keeper Gibson, 7 carries for 20 yards. Dylan Edwards had 2 for 9. Bud Asbury had 1 carry for 3. Renfrew had 1 for 3 as well. Receiving, Sealer was 4 catches for 39 yards. Asbury, 1 for 24. Martin, 1 for 16. Brown, 1 for 13. Wilson, 2 for 4. I don't have the defensive stats. Tim already went over those. No punting. 1 for 2 on the field goal or extra points.
And my observation is, what's I made before is, except for that fumble that Cedar made, this is a 33-7 game.
Right there with the rest of our game.
Right.
And then Asbury on defense also had that big interception that was tipped over to him. I could call an assist on the interception by Dylan Edwards. Stockton Dye for the Huskies had 5 of 9 passing for 106 yards, the 1 interception. Garrett Hawks was 1 for 3 for 34 yards and a touchdown on those little trick plays. Stockton Dye rushing had 12 carries, 35 yards. Garrett Hawks, 10 carries, 33 yards. Sean Bell had 4 carries, 21 yards. Sawyer Dye had 11 carries for 17 yards. Rigging accordingly had 1 carry for 5. The receptions, Garrett Hawks, 4 receptions, 102 yards. Blake Oberhansley had 2 catches for 38 yards and a touchdown. And then that's going to be it for the statistics. Once again, St. Mary's defeats the North Fremont Huskies 33-14 in the quarterfinals of the 2A state football tournament playoffs at the Idaho Milk Bowl by the United Dairymen of Idaho. St. Mary's will face either Bear Lake or New Plymouth next week. We will have to travel for that game, sadly. But we won't know who until like 8 o'clock tonight, actually 10, 11 o'clock tonight. They start their game at 8 o'clock at Holt Arena Mountain Time, so it'll be 7 o'clock St. Mary's time. That game will be on idahosports.com. So for Lumberjack fans out there that want to check it out and see who we're playing, you can watch that game in their live stream.
Just as an update for the folks out there listening, tomorrow starts daylight savings time.
That, too, don't forget.
We take our clocks back an hour, so you got an extra hour to sleep, folks.
And I wish I could find real quick, because what time is it? 2:53. The Idaho Vandals should be playing right now, actually. And I don't know. I should have thought about it earlier and looked up the game. Actually, I think they just started. But the Idaho Vandals were playing today at Louisiana Lafayette. And we had Boise State last night. The Seahawks don't play tomorrow. They play Monday night against the Bills. We'll have that game on KOFE at 5:30, 4:30 the pregame. So tomorrow you have Chaplain Tim Hall all to yourself in the morning
and you get to sleep in an hour later.
well, that too.
So there you go.
So you got the Sunday morning inspiration and Bible Answers Lives tomorrow morning, then no football tomorrow at all.
And by the way, I got a nice compliment this week. I went over to Valley Vista, and several of the people over there said they listen every Sunday morning. Sunday morning inspiration. I was dumbfounded.
Well, I also want to thank everybody that was listening. We had lots of Facebook posts that I seen today of everybody back home that said they were listening on Coffee Radio. Mary Davidson said she tuned in just at the right time to catch the Brady Martin fumble recovery for a touchdown. So I want to thank all of our listeners in St. Mary's that were tuned in today. I also want to thank all of our Lumberjack Sports broadcast sponsors. If you see any of these fine businesses, or if you're in any of these businesses, you find or see one of the owners, be sure to thank them for their sponsorship of these broadcasts. Without them, the games would not be possible. So shout out to our sponsors as well. That's going to do it for us here from the Kibby Dome, unless Tim was – okay, I thought you were giving me the finger that you wanted to say one more thing.
I would never give you the finger, Tim.
That sounded wrong. Yeah. Anyways, for Tim Hall, I'm Tim Paris. Sandra back at the studio. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you back here next week for some more Lumberjack football.
And that does it for our first Friday night of a rebroadcast of Lumberjack football, the state championship games from 2016. Next week, we will air the Lumberjacks versus Bear Lake game right here on KOFE, same time, also over on our YouTube stream for audio as well. And so if you want to relive some of those glory moments back in a few years back, be sure to tune in, and we will get you all the information coming up through the next week of that next game. And like I said, though, it'll be the same time and same night, Friday night, and we'll have it right here. So thanks for tuning in for this one, and we'll take you back to our regular programming. It looks like coming up, well, I don't know 100% sure because the computer's not exactly in the right spot.